game here. And speaking of fine, is our fine feathered friend Garuda on with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, there he is. Okay. Alrighty. So last time, you guys made it into the sunken temple. You defeated the wimpy ass guardians that were in place. Afra pulled free, sword in the stone style, the trident that was there, used it to summon a water elemental, and with it and all of your abilities, you were able to defeat the guardian that had been placed there. And unfortunately, in the process, though, you did lose someone. The newly acquired tiefling barbarian Orion was unfortunately killed in the battle. Now you are underwater, underground, with this trident, and we have to figure out what you do next. So I'm gonna drag us all on over to that map, and we'll kind of go from there. Oof. All right.
Oh, what? Did they update the character sheets? It's like every spell is reading it's showing
Yeah,
its description.
it's a
now.
new thing. Like all Roll20 updates, there was no consent
This is terrible.
involved in the process. They're just like, here's this new thing we did. Hope you like it. You have to manually go in and toggle all of them off if you don't want them to do that.
Oh my god, this is awful.
Yeah,
Man,
it
I'm
does it.
so happy they didn't do this when I had Potook spell list.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah, and I'm telling you right now that NPC spellcasters, same thing happened to them.
Oh my god, why
What
did
happened?
they do
I'm like,
this?
why is this NPC spell sheet not opening, or not spell sheet, but character sheet not opening? It's taking forever. It's because it had to, build them an entire spell book before it would open.
Why do I have to see the entire essay that is fine familiar?
So, anyways, with besides that, yeah, here we go, and we'll just keep I'll just keep camera on Orion so you can still see what's going on while we move the narrative towards the location for your new character to join up with everybody.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right.
Petro, can you bring his body with? He's too handsome to leave behind.
If someone could get me up first, please.
I thought we did get you up.
I don't think it actually happened because no one popped a healing potion or cast a healing spell.
Fair
I'll,
enough.
I'll walk over and pour a potion down your throat then, Pietro. You're not dying yet, buddy. I'll give you that healing pot for 7 points.
Much obliged. Thank you.
Are we all here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are we missing somebody?
Aldous is. Oh no, Aldous was underneath me.
1,
Oh.
2, 3, 4.
I think he means IRL.
I mean,
IRL, Mr.
yeah, this is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we actually are missing what you call it. Like, actually are missing Elvis.
I will NPC him, and then we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I guess he just is kind of looking around manically, his eyes bulging like a goldfish, and they sort of roll about in his head and settle on Afra and her new prize. You see a jealous look go across his face.
Oh.
Crash,
Okay.
can you show me how to turn these off? I can't handle them.
On the spells, I haven't actually had to turn them off yet. Hold on.
Oh, I don't.
Well,
see
you hit the eye.
Oh, okay.
I thought I heard Elvis earlier.
No, that's not work. Work.
Yeah, the eye.
That's
the
actually
companion
dope.
eye.
This is a dope feature.
Okay.
I'm no longer upset.
All right. Cool. All right. So, oh, by the way, it is the last session of the year. So to celebrate it being the last session of the year, everybody gets DM inspiration. So,
Yeah.
you don't have to use it today. Save it for the new year. dig a hole in your backyard, bury it next to your gold, whatever you want to do. But yeah,
Are we
it's
not
been
playing next week?
we are not.
Oh yeah,
We're not.
fair
So,
enough.
How much time would you say I have left on the water breathing spell?
I think we said we had what 40 minutes left.
Yeah, you still got about 40 minutes.
Okay. Well, I'm all tapped for right now, like 100% tapped. So we better
Yeah.
be somewhere we can breathe when the spell wears
Yeah.
off. I think we have 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to go back up, long rest, and then come back down and again and explore, or do we feel that's going to be a waste of time?
I mean,
I
I
don't
think
got
we
I
can
12
walk
hit
mean,
points
around
left.
real
Afra
quick.
found that sweet trident. What else do you think we could find down here in this?
Oh, I'm sure there's going
ancient
to be plenty
place?
of stuff, but I want to loot the Sahaugen bodies, and I'm taking that fucking Baron's head, motherfucker.
Mm.
That way we can take it back as proof to the lizard princess that we made good on our word.
If only we could bring back this giant eel beast, eel dragon.
I'd carve off some of his meat to eat.
It's a zombie eel dragon. I wouldn't advise.
Is it a zombie?
Yeah,
Yes.
it'd be tainted meat at this point.
So Afra, how's that?
I respect your player agency, Garuda. I am down for it.
I mean, I've seen birds eat grosser shit. So
You've probably seen birds eat actual shit. Lord knows we've seen our dogs do it.
do you, Garuda? Afra, how's that trident doing for you?
I mean, at the moment, I don't really know. I think we need to identify it. But,
Unfortunately, I
okay.
fear that's gonna have to wait.
yeah.
Can you control this thing, Afra? Not talk about the wire elemental.
You know, I don't know if I can at the moment. I think he just is going to protect us while we wander around.
How are we doing health-wise? Anyone in not in fighting shape?
I think we're all pretty low.
There's a picture of a
pretty
wet
rough.
bird in Discord that Gerudo is looking like right now.
Crash, Pietro would like to search the Sahaugen bodies for any valuables, and also he would like to remove the head of the Baron.
Okay, all doable. The Baron, one of the items he has is a bronze breastplate. It's 5th edition, so there's no like weird rules for materials if it's made out of bronze. So it just looks dope, I guess, if you're into bronze. You know, so also because he wears it underwater, it's got kind of that weird burnish thing going on that bronze gets around seawater and stuff. So, but for all purposes, it functions as a breastplate. So I'll put that in there. Let's see. All right, so I posted up a new treasure chat. Afra has the edgelord trident. On the Baron was a thin tube of iron filings with the seal of a noble house on both ends. The Baron's trident, Sahaugen's spears. There's supposed to be a P in there. 87 gold in pearls and shells among the 4 Sahaugen. 2 basic bitch healing potions. They never got to
Aha!
Now the potions, these Sahaugen potions, I guess I should mark that they're Sahaugen potions.
Oh.
Yeah, they are like fleshy sacks, and you just eat them. Like, I don't know if you've seen those water pods that they make nowadays.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
for marathons and shit like that. Yeah, but they're basically like pods. Like Tide Pods. There you go.
Okay. Well, I have replenished my stock of healing potions.
Looking at the thin tube of iron filings, do I recognize the seal of the noble house?
They seem to be Sahaugen noble houses.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this does not seem to have any immediate use. Jenna, can you perhaps see if this is a magical or otherwise alchemical item?
For
The thin tube of iron filings. See.
well, that's gonna take time.
Okay,
I don't
I
think
will.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
keep
we
it
don't. I don't think
until.
we have time.
I will keep it
now.
until we have the time.
Yeah, it might not be an underwater situation.
And
Yeah.
if memory serves, all of us got the Baron's trident.
Okay, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's poke our head in some rooms and then start swimming up front, up top rather.
Who feels comfortable leading the way?
Perhaps we should send our water
I mean-
elemental first, if we can command
Yeah.
it.
Do we name him? I think we should give him a name.
You guys are free to name him.
Sebastian.
Great.
Okay. You hear a grumble from in your mind at the suggestion of a Sebastian, but you know that's fine. I have to remember how to spell Sebastian. Oh man.
TBAS Island.
Is that the name from the cat from Sabrina?
No, that's
No,
Salem.
that's
Salem.
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 This is
Sebastian
the
from
crab.
The
This is the
Mermaid.
crab from Little Mermaid.
Yeah, in Primordial, I'll say to Sebastian, please lead the way.
All right. It turns to look at the trident, not at Afra, and then you see it sort of go into like almost like a snake form instead of a humanoid form, and just sort of like a ribbon of displaced water. It starts making its way through the dungeon.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Dead end up here.
Afra, as you
Mhm.
turn the corner, you see that there is a glass floor here, and underneath the glass floor is quite a bit of treasure.
Ooh.
So where it looks like slime,
Mhm.
that is actually just sort of an ornate glass, and underneath the glass, you see treasure and sort of a slimy substance.
Hmm.
So you can see actual flecks of gold and gems sort of sparkling beneath the surface.
Well, I guess. Do we think it's poisonous, or do we want the treasure?
I think you know the answer.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the glass.
Okay. It takes a few blasts, but eventually it starts to crack and burst, and you do see the water around it start to take on sort of a sickly greenish yellow cast as the whatever was trapped in there starts to roil out. You imagine it's somewhere between like a gas and a liquid, and it just sort of begins bubbling out and filling the area.
I walk back.
The
Yeah.
water elemental does not seem to be affected by whatever it is.
Well,
In Primordial, I'll ask Sebastian to go and grab all of the wealth and treasure underneath.
It looks over at the trident again, as if getting permission from its actual boss. And then it swims down through the crack, getting small enough to fit through the crack in the glass, and you can see its body begin to fill with treasure. And then it swims back up to you guys, swims away from the poison, and then begins to just sort of dribble the treasure out. And it sort of floats zero gravity style in its wake as it swims around the room.
Well, that's
Yeah, I'll
neat.
just start grabbing it like I'm in one of those cash air rooms.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Crash, did you need me to roll anything for taking the Baron's head? Or
Ah,
did I just take it? Okay.
yeah. You guys are getting to a point level-wise where certain things are easy enough for you to do that you will not have to roll for it as much.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can ask the people that have played in the higher level games towards the end, they're really just rolling for things that are super impactful to gameplay after a while, because that's what that proficiency modifier kind of represents, is that your character just becomes naturally better
Gotcha.
at the things that they're doing. Yeah, and you guys are right at the cusp of level 6, so
Yeah.
all
I
right.
think I think that this might be it to the thing, the temple, because that's just that meets the other direction there.
Is this temple dark? I'm guessing.
We could fan out for like 10 minutes and investigate as much as we can. Maybe there's secrets.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose there could be a secret.
Do we really want to split the party? Bad things can happen.
I mean, there's not much else. Like,
Afra, can you give me a light, please, so I can
oh yeah,
see?
I will cast light on his bow.
Thank you.
Oh, here's another one of the. Is this a glass area down here? Another one.
Yeah, hold on just a sec. It is, but this one seems to have been already broken open and looted.
Okay.
There's a stairwell over here.
Yeah, that's the
I
direction
believe
out.
that is where we came in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? I get turned around to use caverns, so that makes sense.
That is okay. That is why we travel as a group. We can.
Yeah, Afra,
Rely
using
upon one another.
your archaeology nerd background, you feel like, yeah, you guys have covered all the different areas of this temple.
Yeah.
It seems similar to like just a temple on land. It's not overly large. Like it just sort of serves the purpose of a shrine.
All right.
Oh, guys, look! I found a giant eel. Wait, never mind. We came this way already. Sorry.
All right, guys. Well, let's go swim up before
Yeah,
we
let's-
can't breathe anymore.
Bounce on out of here.
Oh wait. Do I need? Do we have Orion's body? Where did I leave that?
I have it with the water elemental for now.
Okay.
All right. I'll hero stack you and send you back up into the caves where you can then
And-
make your next decision about what to do.
And as we're leaving the temple, you'll see Afra glance at her trident, and at her coin, and at her trident, and at her coin, and seem to make a decision and leave the coin behind.
What does that mean?
All right.
Probably nothing good.
Back up in the flooded caverns. So, flooded caverns. If you guys would like, this is an opportunity for fast travel because it's a big dungeon and it would not be interesting at all for any of us to watch you move your miniatures back through this dungeon. So, if you have a destination in mind, I can just sort of we can roll right into travel for that. But if you need to sort of catch your breath, get your bearings, and figure out your next move here, we'll hang out on this map until you do so. Does that make sense?
I think
Yeah,
we
I
need
think a short rest.
Yeah, and some identification
yeah.
of
Alright.
things.
So Cutie Patootie is still there. she's still bound up by resident rope fetishist Pietro's amazing rope skills, and she her eyes kind of bulge wide as you appear with the trident. Oakham, his eyes also wide with wonder as you appear with the trident.
Afra's essentially pretending to ignore them,
Okay.
like it's a totally normal thing that she has this trident.
Is that it? Is that the weapon that was below?
Is that what?
That the trident there. It must be. Look at that craftsmanship. There's nothing like it in all the realms.
It's pretty sweet, yeah.
The design and look is so alien. Have you had a chance? No, of course not. You haven't even been gone an hour. Shall we study it together?
I'm good, thanks. Hey Jenna, and I'll like turn around, turn my back to him, and wave Jenna over to maybe identify my thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and start identifying all the things.
Okay.
Starting with the trident.
The
and then
trident.
The trident.
Go ahead and
and
give me
then,
a charisma saving throw as you try to identify the trident. Okay.
20.
The trident is a sentient magical item, which is to say that it has a mind and a soul and all that jazz. It is very much, I guess, alive in that way. It is a greater trident, so there's information for that in the equipment handouts. But essentially, a greater trident has this disarm property, and I believe does a static 1 extra damage than a normal trident. It is a greater trident +1. It is able to communicate telepathically with people around it. And it boasts to you a great number of powers and abilities that it will only reveal to those who enter a pact with it.
And Afra is perfectly willing to do so.
So, Jenna, you get the feeling that this is very much like an entity who has a contract, but nowhere in the contract do they tell you what the signing bonuses are. It's only that they're good. And it is a bit vexing that as you are identifying this thing, right, that it is able to essentially keep from you a lot of these purposes. But with a 20 on your charisma save, you are able to sort of overpower it enough to know a bit more about it. Its abilities are all related to water and the element of water. And it operates off of a charges system. So it uses and generates charges to power its abilities. You also feel that the weapon is especially, I don't know if bloodthirst should be the word, violent. It is a violent personality. So that's kind of what you get off of the thing. Oh, and you get its name. Its name is Surge. Like the energy drink. This is straight out of the 2nd edition Evil Tides adventure. This weapon is actually named Surge.
Is that the water elemental's name too? Is your name Surge?
It's Surge Bastion.
Okay.
Spawn of Surge.
I like Spawn Surge. That's a good one.
You guys can attempt, if you're trained in history or arcana, you can attempt a history check if Jenna shares the name of the weapon to see if you've heard of it before. Okay. So you got 21.
Can I do Arcana or just history?
It has to be history, but training in arcana would allow you to make the check. So, Afra, you have heard of an intelligent, sentient, violent, magical trident before in your studies. It is the trident Wave. Yes. Wave was an absolute beast. Let me just put it that way. Wave was an artifact weapon of absolute ridiculousness. +3, able to pierce the hide of gods. It was so strong that it almost always completely dominated anyone who tried to use it. So just kind of keep that in mind. Yeah, Wave kind of appears and disappears throughout the multiverse as its whims decide. Sometimes it works for the forces of good, and sometimes it works for the forces of evil, and sometimes it just works for itself. But you have never heard of Surge as you kind of rack the memory banks to see if you've heard of this weapon before.
Yeah, yeah, Jenna just hands it back to Afro. She's like, weapon may try to control you. Be careful with it.
I'll feel like I know what I'm doing.
That's the spirit,
Watch
Afra.
me
Well,
closely.
I'll be careful.
Famous last words.
All right. What's the next item that you're identifying?
The Baron's trident.
It is a trident +1.
Oh, easy. Were any of the thin tube of iron filings magical, or?
The thin tube of iron filings were not magical.
Okay.
There's
the-
a thing that
then I'll
was
do
in
the-
the.
Yeah, I'll do this.
And transmitted glass. The hole in the center.
Oh, yes, this fancy disc made of glass with a hole in the center. You think that it probably served the purpose of like a prayer wheel, sort of like a rosary, like basically how it was held and positioned kind of determined what sort of prayers to Sekala the user would make.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So,
and then I'll.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll identify the scimitar.
All right. The scimitar is a scimitar +1.
Would anyone benefit from a scimitar +1 or
Pietro
trident?
could, I think.
Fine quality.
Let me see. I had also discussed with Alvis the possibility of borrowing his kerchief rapier for a time until we are able to improve our means.
Yeah, sure. That would you'd have 2 magical weapons at that point. Scimitars are great for dual wielding. So,
It doesn't have the same damage output as my rapiers.
but it's +1 to damage.
It
so,
is.
yeah.
But my rapiers is a 1d8.
Right.
But still, that +1 makes a big difference.
The
Plus
+1
5% more likely to hit things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Well, I'll take the scimitar and I will borrow Alvis's rapier.
All right.
Can I have your rapiers then, Pietro? I feel like if I ever do get into combat, I need to be more prepared. And I pull out my daggers and I go like, start playing with them like chap chap chap. I was pretty good with these in the fight, so I think if it comes down to, I need to be more dexterous like you, Pietro, when you go stabby stabby stabby. So
I appreciate the compliment, but I am not dexterous. It is simply through brute force I'm able to wield these with such impact. However, I do understand your desire. I will allow you to borrow them for the time being until we can come to a more permanent arrangements on all of our equipment. Here you are, my friend.
thanks, PH.
As a testament to, I guess, his academic nature, it's only now that Oakham looks over and sees that Orion is dead. And he sort of drops to his knees, and his eyes are kind of like out of focus, and he moves towards the body and just kind of like puts a hand on Orion's like forehead, and you could tell that this guy is he's kind of a mess at this point. Party rogue, inquisitive rogue, you know that he is currently suffering from severe survivor's guilt.
As he
Because
should
this,
be.
Orion was the last of the people that was hired for this expedition, that has now died. So Oakham's entire team has wiped on this attempt.
And Crash, for that magical
I got that different.
rapier I'm borrowing from Albus, is that just a +1 rapier, or?
I believe it was just magical and could
Yeah,
assume the form of a handkerchief.
Okay. So it'd just be a regular rapier then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he got it from Prime Warder's wife.
Yeah.
So,
No, I discussed
you know,
it with him.
I know.
out
I'm
of
just
game.
saying, if you get seen around town with it, there might be,
Well, the deal was when we're in town, I give it back to him.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I'm glad you guys thought all this through. Okay.
Yeah. No,
'Cause-
while we're
'cause,
out
man.
in the rough and tumble, I'll carry it. But while we're
Sure.
in town, I guess I'll just run with the scimitar.
Andrew's
Alright.
down to use it until he's gonna get off. But
All right. So, you guys, are you gonna do a short rest at least, right?
yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess the question is, do you feel comfortable long resting again, or are you worried that there could be more Sahaugen that had been summoned coming, or do you feel like you really did kill the reinforcements at the exit and everything is okay?
No, I think we want to get back to the lizard folk and then to the ship at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't want to spend another goddamn minute inside this fucking cave.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
this is actually a nice cave, trust me. Been in some rough ones.
All right.
Yeah, like
Oh,
coming to my
and
caves
what
of
are you gonna
chaos.
do about the sweet priestess? Are you gonna honor the agreement that you would release her and tell her a location to deposit some wealth and believe her that she would actually do all these things? Do you just ice her right now while it's not a problem? Like, what do you?
We plan on selling her to the lizard folk, I think.
Ah, fair enough.
And Crash, with the respecking of some of your abilities, is that after a long rest or is that after a short rest? Because I wanted to swap out
the new UA that we're testing out, not the stupid broken psionic stuff, but the class variant stuff. It specifies, I think, when you can respec with those new rules. But I think, like, for you, you can redo, you can change out one of your martial disciplines or whatever we
Well,
call
I don't want
them
to change
for
the
division.
discipline. I just want to change out one of my maneuvers, if that's
Yeah. I think that changes on a long rest now.
okay. Not
Yeah.
a problem. Just
Okay,
want to
there's
touch
new
on that.
stuff.
Thank you.
All right. As you guys come up to the island that is above the dungeon, let's handle that real quick.
I send Wally out of the cave first, in case Broken Tooth is third, or Thousand Tooth.
Okay.
I'll give you
He
Wally
is.
instead of-
He is there. So as you send him up, you see Thousand Tooth kind of basking in the sun on the south east portion of the island by your boat. Thousand Tooth looks healthier.
Are we not supposed to see anything crash? All I've got is a black
Oh
screen.
yeah. Well, it's just the bird, so I haven't
Okay,
put you guys up yet.
fair enough.
Yeah, then guess we gotta go up and get our boat.
Madre de Dios.
Well,
All right.
Don't
Yeah.
think we're going
So
to be sneaking by him.
Thousand Tooth. There's a different energy kind of coming off of the creature as it is sort of just peacefully taking in, the vibes of the day, such as it were. Which you guys haven't been above ground in a while, so let me tell you how the weather's doing up here. Let's see. Got to get your calendar open. It's not that I stopped checking. It's just I thought maybe this was an Underdark campaign now, so I didn't know if we ever needed weather again. Let's see.
We could have gone completely off the rails and just gone deeper into the Underdark.
Deeper into the Underdark, to the demon web pits themselves.
Let's see.
Yikes.
No, the Faerun Underdark. I mean, they got legit oceans underground. Like you could have like a whole different underwater campaign, underground underwater. That sounds crazy. Let's see. Calendar, weather. There we go. All right. Yeah, there are only a few clouds in the sky. It is a balmy, like 75 degrees with a lot of humidity and a lot of wind, like 40-mile-an-hour kind of like gusts of wind blowing swampy debris everywhere. The long tendrils of the sort of willowy trees kind of slithering about like snakes in the wind.
Afra's gonna kind of take like one step out of the cave and like kind of wave at Thousand Teeth.
Yeah, you get a feeling as you see Thousand Teeth. I'll just use Discord to message you because it seems like easier for everybody than having to do /whisper blah 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 blah. Let's see. It would be easier. Okay.
Pietro's going to lean over to Groot and say, "Do you think you could maybe draw him away? Get him angry enough that he would come after you and you could stay high and fly and give us a chance to get to the boat?"
I just look at him. I don't.
Also, at this
don't grace
point,
that with an answer.
the elemental would be gone at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, Garuda.
I'm not gracing you with an answer, Pietro. No, I would not be your little bird monkey to go fly around like Wally did and got eaten.
No,
Who do you think I am?
You get eaten. You are a far more intelligent creature than Wally is.
Oh God, I would hope so, Pietro. You know what? You're just offending me at this moment.
I apologize. It's been rough. It's been rough. I have died several times under here.
I could try it though. I could give it a little try.
I do not want you to put your life in danger. I'm merely, how you say, spitballing ideas. Because I do not want to tangle with that fucking beast again.
I could try it. I'm gonna fly 60 feet above and just see what it's up to. See if he tries to attack me.
Crash to do the thing he's doing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Crash. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Oh, I thought you were sending something in chat.
Oh no.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So as you fly up, Wally gives you a feathered high five and kind of cranes his neck over to Thousand Tooth and sort of shrugs. And yeah, Thousand Tooth, like the wounds that you dealt to him seem to have healed, and it seems to just sort of be, like alligator style. It's got its snoot up in the air, and it's in like sort of a yoga pose. with its snoot in the air and its tail in the air, and it just seems to be enjoying the feeling of the wind across its scales and what little sun it can gather from the clouds, the cloud cover. It is just sort of taking all that in.
Okay, how tall is this tree? How tall is this tree right
On
here?
this island, these trees, they're about 25, 30 feet high, depending on the tree.
Using my big bird brain, do I think if I land in a tree, will 1,000 Teeth be able to jump up and kill me in one shot?
Using your big bird brain, he will be able to knock the tree down very easily. But alligators in general don't have the best jumps,
Okay.
you know.
Um,
But he'd probably just run up the tree, and the weight of him would push it down. Is more than likely what would happen. He himself, counting the tail, is about 30 feet long.
yeah. And he's like, is he like asleep or is his eyes open?
One set of eyelids is still open.
Is he?
So they've got the one that protects it against debris and stuff, and the one that actually closes against light. So with your keen eyes and sharpshooter, you see that he's got his like inner eyelids closed, I guess, from all the wind and debris and stuff. But yeah, he's looking around.
I'm gonna try to land.
Not like in a paranoid way, just sort of in a taking in the beauty of nature kind of way.
Guys, you're trying to lull me into a false sense of hope, but I'm gonna try to land into the boat and see what happens.
Okay.
Fly over to the boat.
And
All
perhaps
right.
you could tie a rope to the boat and maybe tug it around so we leave from the opposite side of the island.
Yeah, I was gonna try to bring it to you guys.
All right. As you do, his head kind of snaps over and looks at you. His golden eyes sort of narrow, and it just lets loose a low kind of croaking hiss of warning.
Okay, and I slowly start to move the boat back
Okay.
from the pier and try to take it like this way around or to like this side of the to like this side
Sure.
if he if he lets me.
Yeah. He seems to have no interest in fighting you.
Oh, thank God.
All right. You bring the boat. You take the long way around,
Yep.
going through all the different trees and debris and whatnot, and you bring the boat around to the rest of the party. Okay. If you'd like, you can now leave for a different locale.
Jenna, remind me again. We get paid more money if he stays alive, right?
Yes,
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
that was our main priority.
All right. Am I to assume the journey now will take you to the lizard folk?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Let me see if anything interesting happens on the way there. It does not. Okay. Sometimes not interesting is good. So, all right. Oakham is excited. He's like, where are we going now? Not to Saltmarsh, to lizard folk.
Yes.
Is there anything I need to know before we get there? I wouldn't want to, embarrass anyone or really put my foot in my mouth.
I think it is best that you say nothing.
Hey, can we tie his mouth up? Will that be rude?
Wait,
Yeah.
nothing.
No. If we truss him up, that might give the lizard folk the impression that we are offering up, and that is not what we want to do.
I mean,
That is not what we want to do, Afra.
So, are you approaching from the swamp side or the more ocean-oriented side of the settlement?
I'm in the closest one.
Okay.
I mean, what would be the easiest to get into? I guess is the question. 'Cause-
Probably the swamp side. Remember, you have to swim underwater to
Yeah,
access the
that's-
oceany side.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we have an old man with us.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I could correct that. Is all I'm saying.
Hey,
Dang.
You calm down.
Oh, bad Afro, bad.
I'm just saying, we would still get the money if he just had a really unfortunate accident.
And I am just saying that killing him is not an option.
Ooh. Okay.
Her rolls her eyes. Fine.
And I understand we want to give Orion a proper burial, but how are we doing that? Are we giving him a burial at sea on our way back, or are we going to bury him at Saltmarsh? We never really discussed the
Burial.
logistics.
I was gonna experiment with this gorgeous body.
Oh God.
Necromancy.
You definitely get a weird look.
You're going to get a weird look from everyone, including Orpheanus.
Jenna looks around like she like thought she said something totally okay, like she was in the right crowd, like she started like talking pro Trump, but then there was some Bernie fans, and like
Yeah. So,
I
I definitely see Jenna, if she survives the whole campaign, heading over to Thay. That's definitely they're always looking for people, and
well, that's
that
where she's
yeah,
from.
yeah.
Why are
So,
we tiny and Elvis gigantic?
I think
Because
that sort of
Elvis
speaks
is
for
ego.
itself. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are in the plane of thought right now, so ego is determining your character size. Um, all right, so you guys make it to Dunwater, which is the home of these lizard folk. And yeah,
think of
there
this.
are crocodiles, alligators, crocodigators. It's D&D. They're all kind of the same thing here. Aplenty, and they all kind of turn to you with big happy smiles and let out warning, hissing croaks as you approach. Looking around, you're trying to see where the heck the guards are at today. Are they just not? Is it not a thing? Do they not have guards anymore? And you do notice them. There's one in front of each passageway, and they sort of look over at you. Um, their eyes kind of squint, and they have been sort of alerted by forward guard that you were coming, and they nod at you. They make some sounds, and the gators kind of move a bit to give you room to bring your boat in. All right.
We'll do a
So,
pull the boat up and ask to be taken to the queen?
Princess, I think.
Princess.
Princess, I think.
so
Yeah.
you stand. They stand defensively at their guard posts, and in Draconic, which is their language, they begin to ask you guys questions. Does anyone speak Draconic?
I would have ritual casted comprehend languages before
Okay.
coming here.
They are asking, what is your business here? Why are you here? Why do you bring a sea devil and a land devil to our people?
It's a present.
A
Not that I
gift
can
for
understand.
queen.
Okay, they look at each other confused, like from across the 50-foot distance, and like they look back at you. This one makes sort of a clicking sound, and you see two of the uh, gators kind of block his way, and he excuses himself. Some time passes. Do you wholesale murder everyone, or do you wait? I have to
Chill
always
out.
do the hobo check. So,
Make sure Afro doesn't feel welcome.
Have to do the hobo check.
all right. All right. So, time passes, and eventually you see a albino skinned lizard folk appear with a very brightly colored critter sort of perched on her shoulder. You recognize it as Joko. She looks over at all of you, and she says,
This one greets you warmly on this day of winds.
Hello, Joko. It's good to see you again. We have returned from your princess's quest.
What business have you with the princess then? To report your successes, I hope.
That we
Oh,
do.
yes. And a gift as well.
I mean, it's kind of for sale.
Well, yeah.
A gift would be greatly appreciated by the princess, since she is still quite sad about your dinosaur being unavailable.
Yes, we have priestess of the Sahaugen. Yours to do with what you wish for all the trouble they've caused you.
She looks hungrily over at the hideous priestess, and her mouth just cracks open into a wide crocodilian smile.
Yes, that will do nicely.
And then she sort of looks over at Orion and looks even hungrier and says,
Oh, this is how do they say in the Saltmarsh? A surf and turf.
No, he is a
Sea
comrade in
devil
arms that fell in
and
battle.
land devil. It will be a feast worthy of our ancestor spirits. You are great ones. Bring the meat and follow me.
Maybe we should just let them have them. You guys didn't really seem too on board with the whole necromancy thing anymore.
Oh, you said necromancy. I thought you said necrophilia.
I mean,
Jenna looks at Garuda pissed and hits him with a good ole.
oh, damn.
He goes, stop it, Jenna, stop it, Jenna, ow.
All right. So, Joku, in good spirits, because she is hungry for the surf and turf devil feast, leads you through to the throne room. Let me know, Willow, when would be an appropriate time for you to jump in. So if you are a former mercenary of the lizard folk, and now that their threat with the Sahaugen is over, you're going to be looking for new employment, that would be, you could jump in here. If you are thinking that maybe you're back in town and you get recruited from town, whatever you decide.
I'll chill out with the lizard folk. I don't think I'd get involved with the feast because I ain't exactly keen on what they're serving.
Yeah. It's definitely a situation where, unless you are okay with accidental cannibalism, which defined by the Sword Coast is the eating of any sentient creature, not just your own race. Yeah. It's one of those brown bag it situations. So, Willow, you've definitely been brown bagging it for the, we'll say 3 weeks that you've been working for the lizard folk.
Nice. Sounds good.
All right. So we'll say for now, you have proven your worth in battle, and you're serving as sort of pseudo bodyguard for the queen, or sorry, the princess. Self-appointed title. She thought princess made her sound younger and more full of vim and vigor than queen. Queen kind of. They base it on age, right? Like not on if your mom or dad's still alive, because their family ties are a little whatever, because they have like hatcheries and stuff like that. So it's more of like how old you are, you're a princess or a queen.
Right, I see.
Right. Okay, so Princess Othokent, looking glam on her throne, sees you guys walk in and immediately becomes more interested in the goings on. You see the little lizard folk babies kind of look over, and they kind of scamper under the tree trunk legs of this big old wrestling dude to sort of watch what's going on. Othokent's number one gator boy, he just kind of curls up in front of the throne, and you see that she is still petting, James Bond supervillain style, her cat, as it curls up in her lap. This creature has no butt. Each end of the snake has a head.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess it has a cloaca right in the middle if we're going to go science on this shit. But yeah, it is a two-headed snake in the manner that each end of the snake has a head. All right. And she kind of alternates between petting it like a cat and wearing it like a boa. So, Othokent, as you guys heard before, she wears only a ornamental sarong, and a bunch of jewelry, mostly chunky jewelry. All right, she looks at all of you, and Joku steps forward and says some stuff in Draconic. And Willow, do you speak Draconic?
No.
Okay. All the lizard folk kind of seem interested, and Joku looks over at the other instance of Joku and shakes her head, and that one disappears. And then Joku kind of steps aside, and you guys are motioned to speak.
And Pietro's going to keep a hand on the Sahagin priestess to make sure she doesn't try and bolt or anything, and he's gonna split his attention between the priestess to make sure that all of us in Oakham don't.
Oh yeah, the
shoot their mouths
priestess
off.
is in full-on panic mode. You know when you take your dog to the vet and it realizes it's going to the vet, and the eyes just get so wide, and there's just sort of a panting sort of thing going on. That's the level of panic that she's at. She is almost beyond reason. She is so frightened right now.
Yeah, and Jenna will kind of take a step forward. She'll approach the princess and say, "Good evening, or good day, princess. I hope my crew has fared you well in their weapons training. We come bearing great news upon the quest you granted us. Thousand Tooth has been restored to what I believe his normal condition, and the Sahagin have been pressured out of the marshlands."
As you talk, you allow a brief moment after every sentence, and you kind of hear in the background the Joku is translating in Draconic for all who are assembled. As you mention the restoration of Thousand Teeth, you can see and feel the joy that these creatures feel at that news. They are all very happy. Oh, keep going.
We have brought gift. One of the Sahagin priestesses captured alive for you to do with what you will for the trouble they caused you. And also the flesh of a fine tiefling. I believe it will be a fine surf and turf.
Oh man, as the you know how when someone's speaking another language but they don't have a word in that language, so you're it's foreign language, surf and turf, foreign language, foreign language. Yeah, so that's what Joku does, and all of them you hear stomachs rumbling, and you see the big boy kind of rub his belly in a oh yeah baby back ribs kind of thing. And the two little guys underneath look up at him, and they start sort of rubbing their bellies in a way that kind of mimics what he's doing. They all have their mouths open wide and big alligator smiles, similar to this guy right here. They are very excited about this. You just are dropping good news left and right, Jenna the Generous. It is ridiculous. Othokent tries to keep her poker face on, but even she is very, very pleased with the news that you're giving her.
God, they're salivating. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's getting kind of getting a little nervous. Willow, you've seen them eat some motherfuckers, and yeah, sometimes they don't even cook them or kill them. Sometimes it's a live meal. So. All right, Athokent takes in all the words that you were saying, and then she says,
This one is pleased by all that you have said and done. The riches promised to you will be rewarded, and I will go to my personal treasury and find you something very nice as a bonus for excellent work done. I ask then, with the evil removed from beneath the swamps, the Sahogan bested, and their priestess and baron defeated, will my people need worry about them further?
Probably.
And Jenna kind of like just bows, like, pleasure to do a good job, kind of bow.
mm-hmm.
Oh, at mention of the Baron,
Oh,
Pietro
and she does say all this in common to you guys, because Athokent is proficient in the Chondathan. So,
at mentioning of the Baron, Pietro will produce the Baron's head and sort of
oh,
walk
shit.
up, set it
Shit.
down, and then
oh,
back
shit.
up.
Oh, how did you know that she likes collecting heads?
This princess like bad a nut or something like that. Jesus Christ. Like...
Well, Willow, in her throne room, she has a great white shark, a giant frog, a hammerhead shark. I think this one is an owl bear or a walrus. I can't remember off the top of my head. A regular bear, a giant albino crawfish, a carrion crawler, a goddamn hippopotamus.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe this one was a troll or a hobgoblin, and then there was a Sahaugan. So, yeah, she sees that head, and that cracks the mouth into a smile.
So I'm just gonna set the head down. And
This
then
guy
just sort
goes
of
to
back
eat
up.
it, and he does. And then she barks an order at him, and sheepishly he barfs it back up. This guy grabs it and wipes some of the viscous globs of drool away and brings it to the princess. She holds it up, and she just basks in its glory. She is very pleased. All right, she kind of tucks it away in behind her on the throne, and kind of settles back in her throne. She's very excited, and she says,
Truly, you are great ones. This one is so impressed and pleased with you that I would ask you do more work for my people, if that is something you are available to do.
We are always welcome to entertain new jobs.
okay. She says,
How are you at fighting dragons?
We took down a zombie dragon eel. Just yesterday. What dragon troubles you?
Are you familiar with she who is called Sinister, the poisoned kiss?
Hmm.
Can
I
I,
think,
see if I've heard of her before?
sure. That would be a knowledge history check.
Fancy.
15?
Fuck it, why not? I'll make my own history check, seeing as I'm here.
Yeah, sure.
I have no goddamn idea.
All right. Garuda actually has heard of this dragon. Garuda, Sinesis, the poison kiss, is supposedly an ancient black dragon that lives in the lizard swamps.
Say ancient?
I did drop the word ancient in
Are,
there.
are you
yeah.
talking about the ancient black dragon? That
she-
Sinesis?
Yeah, she looks to you and says,
Yes, delicious one. I speak of the ancient black dragon, Sinesis the Poisoned Kiss.
Oh, okay, I was just double checking.
Pray you do not take offense when we must decline. I don't, we have, our employer, I'm sure he also has other work, and that sounds like a task of great preparation and time that I fear we may not have.
So, Afra, the general mood of the room is when Jenna declines and Joko translates, they all they all completely understand that she's making up what the Softskins would call a white lie to try and save face. And it's completely understandable because as super practical, lawful, neutral beings, like they understand, you know, what it means to have limitations, right? They obviously have limitations, or they would not be looking for assistance with the creature. And so it's not like if this was like an orc tribe where they would be like wimps, that kind of thing. Like they almost feel better about their situation because they're like, yep, we're kind of hosed. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Like it's a very much sort of a acceptance that okay, they can't do this, and that's fine. But not for a second do any of them think that you know you're saying these things because you left the oven on back in Saltmarsh or whatever the hell Jenna just said. Yeah. Okay. So the princess kind of clams up then, and she says,
Then I will discuss it no further. If such a time comes where you feel that you could handle such a challenge, it is doubtful we will have resolved it on our own.
So I pray it Sinesis doesn't cause you too much more trouble. And if we ever have time, we may stop back by and take care of it.
Hopefully, it does not become your problem. Saltmarsh is dealing with enough as it is.
That it is, and I pray the deeds we have accomplished here better your feelings towards that town in Saltmarsh.
It does. You have proven to be a great one among the Softskins. I hope that more of your kind are as generous and as goodly as you are, Captain Jenna. Now, I will give you this warning. Not all lizard folk are of our tribe. There are others, known as the Rathroxus. They have thrown their lot in with Sinesis and grow ever more aggressive.
I see. Crash, can I get you to write in chat the name of their tribe and the name of the tribe you said?
yeah, sure.
We'll certainly keep an eye out for them.
Let's see. I'll get you the right spelling here. So Rathrox is the one that is working with the dragon, and these guys are the Soriel tribe. All right. So, with that, she says,
while I have your rewards gathered, the hours of the day grow long, and soon the sun will sleep. You are welcome to take in our hospitality and enjoy this bountiful surf and turf that you have brought to us.
It will be our pleasure, thank you.
she turns to you, Willow, and says,
Great Sword Saint, your services these past 10 days have been exceptional.
Thank you.
I understand that our time together grows short. I will gather your wages and pay them out to you.
Thank
I
you.
don't suppose you would be willing to deal with the dragon.
With help or on my own?
She kind of looks a little sheepish, and she's like,
I'll be honest, I'm not getting a lot of bites on this one.
Perhaps.
Yes, another time, I understand.
As much as I enjoy the thrill of battle, it is no use dying early.
Agreed. We will do what we must, and likely keep our heads down for the time being.
That would be smart.
Go then with the blessing of the Creator. You may stay here another night, and then leave with your treasures.
I'll give a bow as well.
all right. So that night, Ewoks are cannibals. So yeah, I mean it's kind of like an Ewok thing, you know,
Oh, cool.
like a lot of zup zup, doopity doo, zup zup, pounding on drums, dancing.
Big zups.
Yeah, big bonfires. Good stuff. Good stuff. There is like a feast hall around here somewhere. Nope, that looks more like a nursery. Oh yeah, here it is. I'll just put you guys over in the feast hall, just so you can kind of get an idea that there are locations in this place where things happen.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that night, as you are feasting, I guess just for personal morbid curiosity, does anyone partake of the surf and turf?
Yeah, Jenna partakes.
Wow.
It's just Orion and the Hog and priestess, right?
The priestess and Orion. That's right. They basically they barbecued them up. They're having a barbecue.
I mean, I'd take a polite portion.
Okay, fair enough. Because you're an archaeologist and you want to explore sort of the anthropology section of archaeology. I got you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Jenna
Does it-
just never got to taste Orion in life, so she'll just taste him in death.
I guess I
Wow.
would ask Orion's player, is there a particular flavor that Orion would probably have in death that we
I
need
gotta
to
say
know
spicy.
Charred.
about?
Spicy.
Yeah, they had to cook it a long time because he is resistant to fire.
Real tough Orion jerky.
Yeah, so
Lean cut
Jenna's
of
gonna
Orion.
take some Orion jerky and store it in her pouch for later.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
it any good? Like, does it look good?
so like the chef, he kind of, he's got a little chef hat on. You can't see it in the miniature, but he's got an apron just covered in blood, and then he's got like his little chef hat, and he is talking excitedly to these heroic outsiders in Draconic, and Joku is translating for him. And it basically,
This one says he is very sorry that the meat is so tough. Devils resist the flames of his fires too well. If he could do it again, he would brine the meat for several weeks before creating a stew instead.
yeah, and then he keeps talking, and he's just,
He claims he would use sugar to sort of cancel out the spiciness of the meat for a sort of sweet and sour, spicy fare. He feels great regret that he did not do this one justice, and hopes that his spirit will not haunt him for his poor cooking skills.
No, I think the spirit's gonna haunt the people that were chowing down.
How does it
That's
look?
my-
how does it look? I mean, it's like a bright red meat that is badly burned in places because they had no idea how to cook a tiefling, and yeah, they didn't do a great job with it. The Sahaugen, on the other hand, it just tastes like shark.
Jenna uses
Which I'll be honest, from personal experience, I don't think tastes that great, but you know, that's what it tastes like.
Yeah, Jenna's gonna use prestidigitation on the meat of Orion and make him taste like sweet cinnamon.
Okay.
Are you doing that for everybody?
No.
Y'all stuck with
Apparently,
fuck-
Jenna isn't that generous.
generous to herself.
All right, Willow, you watch these champions, and I don't know how you feel about them, but this is what you're kind of learning from them. Is that
Strange.
yeah, they basically, it seems, if you didn't know any better, sold their dead to the lizard folk. They've got an old man with him. The old man, he has the look of like a kidnapped child.
Oh shit! Wait, hold on. We're eating Orion in front of the old man.
Yeah.
Holy
So,
shit!
yeah, he has the look of a kidnapped child. He keeps giving you looks like "save me," right? It's kind of the look that he's giving you. Like, I am here under duress. I am frightened. Those are
You know
some
what's funny?
looks that.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Is
Just
he
keep it
actually
safe.
like? Is he like mouthing like?
Help! Help!
I perfectly understand what he's saying because I can lip read.
Oh yeah,
I'm rather observant.
yeah. He definitely is. He basically says, you know, be careful is what he's mouthing at
Right.
you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you caught it in chat, Crash, but Pietro is not partaking in the service.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh,
They
Greedo
have
didn't
other
even
stuff,
hesitate, he's
like,
eating.
they have other stuff. There's bowls full of like swamp eels, basically served up like spaghetti. And you know, most of the fare is meat, accented sometimes with plants. But these are carnivores, so
Mhm.
it's almost 90% meat on the table. So I
boy.
guess you look for identifiable things that are not people. So bugs, fish.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
I could deal with bugs and fish. Easy
So what
enough.
you're saying is they're basically serving up bowls of gah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Awesome.
Yep.
Pietro will enjoy the
just
gah.
eating shark, essentially, the delicacy.
Now,
I'd also
it's-
like to point out that the two half orcs are the ones who are being
Shut your
picky.
mouth.
so the you're getting to see like a different side of the lizard folk at this point, because they have invited you to dine at their table, and you have done a great service for them. So in a way, they sort of culturally let their guard down a little bit, and you see that lizard folk get drunk. Lizard folk tell jokes. Lizard folk make merry. You know, externally, right, looking at them, they seem very cold, very reptilian, very alien in their thoughts. But here in their feast hall, you know, they are imbibing, you know, spirits. They are stuffing their faces. They are making merry with each other. At one point, Joko turns to you and says,
These would like to hear your tale. Do you have time to recount it? I will translate for you.
Afra would say yes, absolutely, and then tell like an amazing, heroic, like super exaggerated version of what happened.
like a Hollywood blockbuster action
Yeah.
hero version
Yes,
of what happened? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Give me either a deception or performance check. Is anybody assisting in any way, or is she just kind of on her own here?
Greedo is listening to her like, oh my god, this happened? Where was I at? Like, he is so into the story, like...
Your eyes are just like glassy with like childlike wonder.
Yeah.
As you like listen to the tale of whoever these people are, and the
He's like going, oh
incredible
my god,
adventures.
really? What happened
They
next?
had
What
a
happened next?
Birdman too?
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, Jenna will like go along with Afra, like putting in like key moments and like trying to like play off of her.
Okay. So you're maintaining the exaggerated narrative.
Yep.
Okay.
Pietro knows he can't add anything to the story, but he is certainly not going to detract from anything that is being said. he knows that he would be shit at trying to help out, so he's just gonna keep his mouth shut and watch.
Okay. All right. In that case, go ahead and roll your performance or deception with advantage.
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's very much like when C-3PO was telling the story to the Ewoks, right? So
the bush.
exactly. Yeah. As you explain stuff and Joku translates just up and down the table, and there's lizard folk that have set up like picnic style on the floor in here, just because they want to be close to the great ones. This room, in addition to you guys, has probably 100 lizard folk in it that are just crammed in here to hear your tale and watch you. The fact that you are eating the food that they have prepared seems to have gone over really well with them. And then the story on top of that, they are just, you guys are like, you're like heroes from another land, basically, like foreign celebrities right now. They are.
Jenna's getting completely hammered with them.
All right. Their spirits have sort of a swampy like taste that has like an underlying sweetness to it. You're not exactly sure what it is, but you can ask if you'd like, or ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Oh yeah, Jenna would definitely like ask and like.
Oh,
what is this?
Joku explains to you.
This is called bug juice. We take the underdeveloped larva of giant insects, and they are pickled until their outer skin ruptures, and the entire being is liquefied.
Gruder doesn't like drinking, but after hearing that, he just goes for it. He starts drinking like two handfuls and just going for it.
All right, you like double fisting it?
Yeah.
Does it taste good, or how would I determine if I like it?
So there's that swampy taste and smell to it. So it kind of has a bit like of a sewagey kind of smell and taste. But if you can get past that, there's like a cloyingly sweet like aftertaste.
Yeah, I don't think so. Jenna will try and be polite, but I mean, if it's the only thing to get drunk, she'll be throwing it back as much as she can, regardless of taste.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like pinch the nose, take the shot kind of thing.
And then seeing how much Garuda likes it, Jenna's gonna ask Joku, be like, could we perhaps get like a barrel of this for our crew to take out to the seas?
Oh, it is of nothing. We will gladly part with one for heroes such as thee.
Most appreciated.
All right. So the night goes on. You guys
Pietro's pacing himself, like he's enjoying himself, but he's not gonna lose control. He's gonna keep an eye on the situation. He doesn't feel comfortable in these surroundings.
And eventually, you guys are shown to some guest quarters, and you kind of settle in for the night. In the morning, it is time to go, and they have your treasures essentially ready for you. All right, so Willow, you receive 300 gold, 100 gold for each week that you worked for them.
Nice.
They'll just pay you in, I guess, platinum might be the easiest way to do it.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So that would be 30 platinum pieces. The rest of you, the pre-agreed amount is paid, plus the bonus for saving 1,000 teeth.
Plus the bonus for 3 dead allies.
Oh yeah, and you did sell them. You did give them one of your allies there too. So
it's like what, 500, like a dead ally, or am I making that number up?
I think it was 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had Brian, Orion, and then that one guy they gave us. Oh, it's 3, so 300, extra 300.
Oh, Boris the Hobgoblin?
Yep,
Yeah,
Boris,
he's
that's it.
one of their mercenaries.
He
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
for
So
us.
they'll pay you for the 2 people you lost.
Ah.
And then the treasure. Hold on a sec while I go to the treasury and see if I can pick out something that they would think is appropriate to give you guys. All right. Oh, okay, that's kind of neat. Let's see what else.
So, who is this Willow person? What does she look like?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Do an establishing shot, I guess. At any point, you can kind of do the establishing shot. So when they came into the throne room, when you guys were feasting,
Awesome. Okay. Right. Once again, I get to do the thing I'm really bad at. It's fine. Let's see what I can do.
Okay.
Give it a whirl.
Willow. Yeah, Willow is obviously a half orc. She doesn't look super old, but she's look like she's edging on middle age. She's got bags under her eyes and like starting to get a few wrinkles here and there, for like middle age and stuff like that. Grey eyes, white hair, comes in at about 5'11". And she's dressed in a rather thick looking yukata, so like a Japanese robe kind of deal. And throughout that there's like glints of like chainmail like poking through, and she carries herself with a very well trained and alert posture. Always look like she's always trying to maintain grasp of her surroundings, and looks serious as fuck. Ta-da!
How did what kind of looks was Willow giving me when I was eating when I was basically being a cannibal?
The look. I'm gonna put it in a sentence of like, are you fucking serious? Like, really? But I think within the context of the situation, though, it would be rude to deny the offerings of these lizard folk. So it's not entirely I wouldn't say hatred, maybe just slight disappointment.
I think like throughout the feast, like Jenna would approach Willow, pretty
Jesus.
hammered,
Oh, nice.
and be like, you remind me of Pedro. You
Is that
fighter?
the other half orc?
Yeah, he's the one over there, not partying.
Yes, you could say that we do look alike.
I meant more like your demeanor, like your sense of self, like the vibes.
Right, I see. So, what do you want?
Are you like a fighter?
Yes, I am.
You need a job?
I wouldn't say no. What are you paying?
I mean, clearly we get shit done and make money. Jet emotions to like the feast that's being had.
Don't say. What about your casualty rates? I've noticed that you brought in some,
Well, no, we met that guy there. He's not one of mine, so I wish he would have been.
I see.
I have a ship and a crew.
I was first gonna say, just be useful and like kind of come up on the other side, and basically start making really dirty jokes to like either make you really uncomfortable or like crack the facade.
She doesn't crack one bit. She maintains her composure.
Is Afra hitting on Willow?
I think so. That's what's going on.
All right. So, in addition to the money that was paid out to you, you guys do receive 2 items from Athokent's vault. The first is a suit of studded leather armor. It is made from skin and bones. If you didn't know any better, you would say it is made from the skin and bones of lizard folk. Because, you know, waste not, want not. It is a gorgeous piece. It is a type of item called formidable armor. So it does require an attunement slot, which kind of hurts. But while you're wearing it, once per day, while you're wearing this armor, when you take damage from an attack that isn't a critical hit, you can reduce the damage taken to the minimum amount possible by reducing all damage dice rolls to 1 per dice.
I'm assuming that goes to Afra.
The other item is a staff of sleep and charm. This staff is adorned with a crystal eye that can enhance the power of spells that influence the minds of creatures. Once per day while holding the staff, whenever you cast the spell Sleep, you can add your spellcasting modifier to the total of the dice rolled for the effect. Once per day when holding the staff, whenever you cast the spell Charm Person, you can add 1d4 to the spell save DC.
I think that's going to Jenna.
I'll take this. It's very nice. Jenna, when she accepts the staff, really hungover, she kind of leans on it really heavily. This will do me well.
I'll also say that Garuda might benefit from the studded leather. I don't know what your armor situation is like.
It is low.
I have some magical reserves, so I do not necessarily need the armor.
Thing is that Gorilla doesn't like getting hit, so tries to stay away from that.
Yeah, but you can use that magical ability to, if you do get hit, reduce that damage to the minimum possible, which could be key.
Yeah, but Afra, if you don't want it, yeah, I'll take it. But,
Yeah, no, I'm good because even with it being magical, my mage armor is better.
Okay.
And Jenna or whoever is doing bookkeeping, can you post up in treasure your final reward total for your quest?
Oh, I was gonna ask you. I didn't really write down how much money we were gonna get.
Okay, you had done some phenomenal work, trying to raise the price there. Geralt of Rivia would have been very proud of you. The amount of haggling that went on there. So they agreed to pay you double the amount if you could save Thousand Teeth, and you did. So instead of 500, they give you 1,000 gold. And she gives you those magic items that, Jenna, you're just like, these people have no idea how money works because these magic items are worth way fucking more than that. Yeah, and then they give you 200 more gold for the 2 dead allies, and 100 gold extra from the chef, for the opportunity to try and use new meat. So, yeah. So all told, that's 1,300 gold that you just received.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are rolling the money.
Okay, and unfortunately, they don't have enough platinum pieces to pay that out in platinum, so you just get fat sacks of silver.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay.
A lot of silver.
Pietro will carry it out.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, and Jenna would also want to sell all of the Haugen equipment that they don't need. and see if they could exchange like all like pearls and like random seashells that are worth gold to them. For their
Yeah,
actual
sort of
gold.
use them as a money changing service.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. So yeah, please swap out all of your Sahaugen money for real money here. That story-wise would make a lot of sense. Like you can obviously still do it in Saltmarsh. How they would do it there is, I mean, they're a port town in a fantasy world, so they do have trade with the merfolk and sea elves and things like that. But this would be an excellent place to see if you could exchange the money. So, if you've never played in a game where the DM is crazy about currency and makes you actually do money changing and stuff like that, it's fun the first time. But as like a strict mechanic, and it's fun like role play and like immersion wise, but as a strict mechanic, man, it's like, bro, I have to do my taxes IRL. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of
I play
deal.
this to escape from that. Not to
Exactly.
do it again.
Yeah, and having backpacked across like Europe and before they had invented the euro, I could tell you that money changing every time you get to a country is exciting and fun the first couple times, and then it's a chore after a while. So yeah.
No, it really is. I left Singapore with like $100 in Singapore dollars, and I was just like, I don't even care about it. It's just
Imagine my embarrassment when I tried to pay for my pizza dinner in France with some francs, but they were Swiss francs.
Ooh.
And man, I thought they were gonna like set up the guillotine right there in the restaurant. They were mad. And then when I was like, it's okay, just take this American money. It's worth more anyways. Yeah, it didn't go over too hot. So, but anyways, that's the story for another time. But yeah,
Great.
so but I do love the idea of reminding ourselves that yeah, in this world, right? Like there is modern day currency, which is the stuff that the Sword Coast uses. But like when you go into a dungeon and you find all this old ass treasure, like it's not like you find like the latest coins from Waterdeep. You find ancient ass coins, right? So money is very much an abstraction in D&D, and it's things like this where you find an opportunity to trade out your currency for more usable currency that I think really kind of help the setting out quite a bit. So very cool stuff.
Crash, real quick. With the gear that I took off the Sahaugen and the breastplate, so the spears are worth like a gold piece each, and then the breastplate's valued at 400. So if I were to just sell that to the lizard folk, I'd walk away with what, like 202 gold? Is that fair?
Yeah,
to
that
say?
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just having everything and then rounding up.
Yep, and again, like fantasy shopping is cool for rare ass items and things like that, but for basic stuff, like we have more important things to do than fantasy shop for, you know, and try to squeak an extra 5 gold out of the sale of a breastplate kind of thing. So remember, anytime you want to buy and sell, if you're in a town, unless I've said something about like the local economy being a mess or something like that, you could just go into treasure and say that I sell this stuff for half of what it's worth. The reason that you guys sell for half of what it's worth is that the vendors pay taxes, they pay guild fees, they pay all kinds of stuff that enables them to sort of sell things at the full price. You guys are adventurers. You have a different set of skills. You can sell things to them for half price, and they will then go and sell it on the market for the full price. It just kind of keeps things moving quickly that way. If you wanted to roleplay being a merchant, I recommend Warhammer Quest. It's got a whole class called Merchant. Good stuff. But for these purposes, you're just gonna video game style sell at half price and buy at full price. So, all right. So, yeah, Willow, when you see them get paid, like you realize that maybe this Jenna person was not all talk. Because wow, you thought you did a good job of negotiating the amount of pay that you got, but you worked 30 days to get 300 gold, and she worked from what you can tell, maybe less than a week, and rolled out of there with quite a bit and magic items to boot. So,
I see.
yeah, methods might be questionable, but results definitely seem to be effective.
Questionable
And
method.
Crash, for that long rest, did I heal from my necrotic damage?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
In the gentle, loving arms of 5th edition, a long rest generally takes care of most problems.
All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure
Very
there
calm.
wasn't something special like the
Oh
Baron
no,
was
totally,
leaving,
totally.
giving me
I'm
a
glad you asked,
special parting gift.
Because we've had a lot of mummy rot lately in my
Oof.
games, so it's a very good question to ask. So,
So, you go first. You were going to say something. I'm thinking still.
So Pedro, those spears, how many did you take and sell?
3.
3? Okay. 9.
oh, and
am
suffice
I
to say,
am I sharing that with the group?
No. The ones
Okay.
you had is fine. I'm just.
Okay.
Look, I never wanted to be the treasurer. Quite honestly, this is the opposite of my skill set. So,
Just
so
think,
suffice
you're
to say, you also, after that fine meal and receiving your reward, you suddenly swell with power, and you feel yourselves level up.
Hey.
I trust me, you're like 4 XP away. I'm pretty sure you made it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know. I made a comment.
Yeah.
About it, like, so close. That's okay. Listen, I remember we once spent like an hour after the session was supposed to end to grind out like an extra fucking 2 XP. Times.
So you can either wait until after the session to level up, or if you are multitasky, you can try leveling up as we play. But we're not gonna pause for the level up, obviously. But just so you know, you 100% have hit level 6. So congratulations on that.
So I guess I will approach Jenna. She seems to be the leader, is what I'm getting here.
Okay.
The
Correct word is
questions
captain,
asking.
but yes.
Captain, leader, you know. Close enough. It's fine. So I was thinking it over, Miss Jenna, and I think that I will take you up on your offer.
wait. What offer did I make? I didn't ask you to go to bed with me, right? I'm so sorry. Oh,
No,
goodness,
no.
my head hurts so much.
I would have said no anyways.
That hurts.
To work with you is what I meant.
Join my crew?
Yes.
Oh, I mean,
You seem to be
give
a
you-
man or two down.
wait till you see the whole crew. We'll give you a tryout,
Sure.
and we'll let you know. But you're welcome to come aboard. You seem very capable.
I'll give it a shot. I'll have you know, just for in terms of skill sets, I'm what you would call a stalwart of Tempest.
Tempest?
You can attempt a religion check to see if you know more.
Hey, Crash, I'm having trouble trying to multi-class. Could you help out by any chance?
Sure. Let me find your mini and jump under the hood there.
Damn right, you know.
I got a 22.
Okay, so Tempest. Oh boy. I don't know if you as a player have ever heard of Tempest. But let's talk about Tempest real quick.
I will make a quick thing there. Not stalwart, I should say hardha. Because there's a hierarchy within the religious order of Tempest. Hardhas are basically warrior priests.
Yeah. So Tempest is the Lord of Battles. He is the god of war. He likes honorable battles. He forbids cowardice, and for that reason, not a lot of his paladins and followers make it to higher levels. So that's worth mentioning. he is. They list him as neutral, but honestly, he's kind of unaligned. He doesn't feel that like killing, right, or murder or violence is in any way evil, right? Like that is his thing. Like that is what he is there for. And so evil races and good races alike do pray to him for success in battles. He has been known throughout history to throw in his axe with goodly aligned deities if he feels that he's going to get a lot of action out of it, and also evil deities if he feels like there's going to be a lot of fighting there as well. It is all about the fight. It is all about getting out there and delivering righteous violence. That is his thing. So some people, more civilized people, view him with caution, right? Because a lot of his followers are orcs and barbarians from like the north, and just very violent people. In a world where there's deities like the Red Knight, who is a goddess of war, but it is like structured war, right? Like strategy and things like that. Like the lawful neutral part of war, essentially. It's very hard to be like, yeah, well, forget her. Let's go with this dude that's all about the violence. Because war is a primal part of most sentient races and cultures, and it is his primary portfolio, he is a greater deity. In fact, he has several deities that work for him, including the aforementioned Red Knight, and including Valkyr, who is sort of the Lord of Storms and the Sea, aka Surfer Thor, who operates out of Saltmarsh. But yeah, that's the situation with that guy.
Hey.
You seem like a down kind of bitch. That's what's up. That's what I do.
And Crash, I got myself figured out.
Okay.
I forgot to hit enter for certain things, so
Oh,
I
okay.
remembered I need to do that, and then
Were you using Charactermancer to level up though?
yeah, I was.
Oh, okay, cool. It
No,
used to be a real hassle to level up a multi-class character in Roll20, but Charactermancer definitely made it a lot easier. So
No, I needed to make sure I selected 0, then hit enter for my fighter level.
Oh, right.
Made sure I was
'Cause-
selecting the barbarian level. Right?
Is there any roleplay thing that the rest of the party needs to know about, like some kind of training
No,
montage, or is this just a subtle personality kind of exploration thing?
Pietro has had enough of this shit, and it will present itself, but it's gonna be a cold calculate sort of. It's not gonna be the frenzied barbarian foaming at the mouth. It's going to manifest differently.
Fair enough. Okay.
But he's got his ass kicked but good in these tunnels, and he's had enough of it.
Okay.
No
And
more.
he's giving it a little bit more to the orcish side of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Barbarian fighter is a easy multi-class to explain. So yeah, they pair very well together. All right. Anything else from you guys before we head over to the ship? Right? Is that where you're gonna head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You pick up your crew members who were assisting with the firearms, training, and fighting. They, I'll be honest, are happy to leave. It's a very alien culture here, so yeah. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys back to the proper big map, and assume that you guys are back on your ship, ready to face whatever challenges are in store for you.
I will.
Beautiful, beautiful trident.
It's very good. I will make sure to introduce myself to the party proper.
Sure. Okay.
Because it would be a bit weird if.
Yeah, because you made the arrangement with Jenna, but definitely as you guys are sort of heading towards the boat, with your just sacks and sacks of money.
Yeah.
From successful mission. That would be a good time for you to sort of introduce yourself and kind of integrate a bit into the group.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Vilo Umbrax. I am a Hardhard Tempest, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you.
At this, Pietro is going to go up and extend his hand and say, "Hello, my name is Pietro de la Vega. It is a pleasure to meet you."
Nice to meet you. I'll shake his hand, and she has a very, very fucking firm grip.
And
Willow
Pietro
is
will match
rough.
it.
Nice. That's what I like to see.
And he's a little enamored because he's got some identity issues, and it's kind of cool to see another half orc.
Nice.
And he says, "Willow, I would appreciate it sometime in the future if we could perhaps sit down and get to know one another better. I do not see many half orcs in these lands, and I would love an opportunity to see how our lives compare."
Afra's like, get a room.
That sounds like
Well,
a
no,
fun
it's
time.
it's not sexual. It's like
Afra.
he has
sounds
issues
jealous.
with being a half orc, and he would like to talk
Yeah.
to another half orc.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to HR, Afra, for that one. So it's gonna be. All right, yes, I made you a new sheet, Afra.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
And I guess I will say to Afra, don't worry, you'll also get your time to talk.
Great big wink.
all right. Back at the ship, your dinosaur's there, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Willie.
Yeah.
You guys have a dinosaur?
He's not
Well,
a dinosaur. He's a Willie. He's a
He's a
whale
big
hound.
black Willie.
That's what he is. He's a whale hound.
God
Yes.
I give him a great big hug.
Yeah, he lets out a pleased, bellowing honk, and sort of starts to crush you under his massive bulk. Just sort of honk as he kind of butts his head against you and leans on you. You are then, of course, just covered in your assorted Pokemans that you guys.
Oh god, it's the fucking D&D party with all their animals.
Yeah. So
Remember, kids, look after your animals and don't take them into every single adventure.
you'll
Then forget
notice that
you have them.
these guys did not. These guys did not. They left all their
Okay.
animals on the boat. They're very
Okay,
responsible
you
owners.
are,
Oh, that's the first thing I do when we get back to the ship.
Animals.
Oh yeah, your owl
Menagerie.
wakes up just long enough
Aw.
to leave Bloody Bjorn's shoulder, fly over to your shoulder, and go back to sleep. So,
God.
Bless that owl's cotton socks.
and Bloody Bjorn, he tries to act like he's relieved that the owl's gone, but he looks over longingly at the owl.
Aw.
So, but he still has this hog-nosed snake keeping him company. So,
I go take the
So-
snake too.
oh dang.
I pick up the
Let
snake.
the man have the snake.
No. That was Garuda's snake too.
Yeah. Hi, Eggwig. Hi, Sneak. I pet the, well, the snake was originally mine, but yeah, he's mine now, and I pet him.
Boot the snoop.
Trish, I'm having trouble finding the crew management document with all of the crew on them and like how much money they get paid and stuff.
Oh yeah. Hold on just a sec. Let's see. I could dig that up real quick. Okay, son. Let's see. You guys are currently have riggers, swabs, a physician slash veterinarian slash medic, a cook, and a bard. Which is it's a little price. I'll post that up real quick into crew management.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yep. All right, and then let me find your actual document. Let's see. Okay, crew, sun crew. Here we go. And I'll post a link to this one. Wait. This is not the right document. Let me keep looking. Hold on. All right, that's the moon one. Where is the sun one? I'm seeing the moon. I'm seeing Moon's roster, but I'm not seeing your guys. I might have to export you a new one. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
Weird.
need it, like, particularly, just,
Okay, you just wanted to check on the cost, basically?
Yeah, I just wanted to look at everyone. I was gonna do some generous things.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Not too generous, I hope.
Let's see. Swords, evil tides. Yeah. Oh wait, here's no. Damn, that's really weird. Yeah, I'll have to track it down for you. I'm sorry. Crew database. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I'll get it for you guys before we play again next year. But in the meantime, you do have your crew members here. So if you want me to do a real quick reintroduction of everybody, I'll also toggle on their name tags, which was something that was requested by my other two groups that have crews. They wanted the miniatures for the crew to have the names on them. So this will give you a chance as well, Willow, to be introduced to all the different crew that they have hired. So yeah, we'll handle that real quick. So Toothpick Tate, this guy right here, he was from the original crew that was in charge, the original crew of the original ship. Now, the original ship was called the Sea Ghost. They have renamed their ship, and the ship is now the Storm Chaser.
Okay.
Yeah. So Toothpick Tate, yeah, he's doing that on the ship. Then we've got Dart Swindler Lewis. Dart Swindler Lewis is a goblin cook. He is the ship's cook. So that's him right here.
Nice.
Yep. And then we've got Bloody Bjorn, who was the first mate on the old ship, and basically subs in as the first mate, I guess. I don't know if you guys have really 100% solidified how the PCs slot into the ship, but his old position was first mate. Then there's Foul Frithhoff. Foul Frithhoff was the bosun on the older crew.
Ooh.
Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out all the older crew that's still there. Arvin Voodoo Argent. He was a swab, I believe, on the old ship, and you guys kept him around. He is Chalton. Okay. And let's see. Yeah. Amy Mary Zindo, also from Schultz, also from the previous crew. Let's see. But yeah, they have I don't know. you know what? We're not gonna go one by one because that'd take forever. But essentially, yeah. But essentially, yeah, that would take forever. But essentially, they have a full crew here. So Willow, as you look around the ship, I don't know what your character's background is related to ships and whatnot, but they
none at all.
okay. It definitely seems like more than enough people to
Yeah.
manage the ship.
Okay. Oh.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. So I guess the question here now, guys, is where to? You have your ship, you have money. What are you gonna do now? You've survived the trials and tribulations of the sunken caverns and the lizard swamp.
Yeah, I mean, I think first, Jenna, like, would, when they get back, would assemble the crew, and she'd, like, kind of give, like, a little, like, synopsis of everything that happened, that the mission was successful, that we got paid quite well, and, everyone's gonna get a bonus of 1 day's paid on top of their current, salary, and everything's going great, and then she would also introduce, I'm sorry for, I don't quite have your character name remembered just yet. Please help me out before I look like a
Willow.
fool. Willow. She would introduce Willow as new like hired muscle and everything. And I
Okay.
think we would go to Saltmarsh, right, guys? Anyone else suppose?
No, I
Yeah.
definitely want to do some shopping. Specifically, I would like to revisit that one specialty store. It was the what was it? The something of Merchants of Joaquin.
Is Oceanus alright? How's he doing? We never asked about him.
I mean, Oceanus survived the ordeal.
Any hard
Yeah.
feelings?
Honestly, like as a culture, they hate the Sea Elves hate the Sahuagins so much that he had consigned himself to dying down there. So the fact that he's still alive, I mean, he was probably too tired to attempt it. 4 levels of exhaustion or whatever. At the lizard folk thing, but now that he's only 3 levels of exhaustion, he's definitely trying to leverage it to hop into some Captain Jenna panties. Like that's definitely very subtle, like hint drops about how he bled for this mission, and like it was a sacrifice he'd make 10 times over if he had to. Really, just kind of playing up the heroic sacrifice of donating blood, essentially. That was made. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jenna's gonna be.
She welcomes him and she treats for him personally by herself.
Okay, fair enough.
Takes care of him.
You can cross sea elf man with beard off of your sexual bingo chart.
Personal service. A wink.
All right. Also, I have turned
Gosh.
off dynamic lighting on your ship map so that you can more freely, explore it and see the contents of it. So you have your ridiculously big bilge. Like this ship's got a big bilge. I'm saying. And then this is the below decks. So this is where you store your stuff. This is where the crew sleeps and eats. Those are like double, if not triple, layered hammocks. So it's certainly not the coziest situation. Pirates, as a culture, privacy really isn't a thing. So it's not uncommon to just stumble upon them, after hours doing their business, just out in the open. There's no shame on this boat.
Just
Everybody
open up the
just kinda
curtains,
does
you'll
their
be
own
good.
thing. Yeah, there are officer quarters on the lower deck. 2 of those. There are 2 hidden compartments for stashing smuggled goods and/or slaves. If you decide that is, that's what your predecessor used the ship for. This is where Oceanus was kept initially. So this map right here that says outside deck, it's a little confusing These rooms are the only part of this map that is unique because the outside deck is actually this part right here, and then the yeah. So it's a little confusing there because this is just the interior parts of your top deck essentially. But yeah, it's a small ship. It is kind of a little dingy. It definitely has sort of a Millennium Falcon feel to it. It is a very fast ship, but it is, it's a good ship. It's a good ship. Fast, but kind of uggo would be a good description of the ship. So
People can't see how ugly your ship is if you go too fast.
yeah, exactly. It is outfitted with 4 ballista at the moment. Gunpowder, as we all know, is illegal in the Sword Coast because of the very powerful wizards and priests who run the Sword Coast that do not want technology to go past a certain point. They've heard of other worlds where they have to deal with shadow running and all sorts of other bullshit like that, and that ain't gonna happen in Forgotten Realms. So yeah, one of the most illegal things you could do is use gunpowder, have gunpowder weapons, that kind of thing. Now they most certainly exist. There's a whole nation of steampunk artificers, not that far away actually, called Lantum, that they themselves, of course, would never export their goods to the Sword Coast because that would be illegal. But lately, people are just, firearms are showing up more and more frequently. There are tales of pirates that have great cannons that essentially fire metal balls at the same speed and ferocity that a giant would shot put a boulder. So there's definitely some of that going on, sort of a technological revolution that is fueling a smuggling trade movement right now. So, all right. So I guess that is the situation there on the ship. Everybody, do you just hang out on the ship for a whole day to rest, or do you want to sail back down the coast to Saltmarsh?
Yeah, I think sail back down.
Okay. All right. On that note, then I will take you back to the big map, wherein you can see Saltmarsh and start taking care of business. All right. So Pietro, I think you had said that you wanted to go to the magic item brokerage.
Yes, the faithful quartermasters of Joaquin. I had to find it in my notes.
Oh yeah, no worries. So they are open for business now, and as you approach, you see the well-appointed and well-fortified building with its freshly painted sign. And let's see, the weather today in Saltmarsh is clear skies, moderate winds, easterly winds of 32 to 38 miles per hour. Going to be a high today of 77 degrees. All right, so you open up the door, and there you see the lady that runs the joint, Captain Zendros. And it says here that the items you know that she has is she's willing to buy magic items. She repairs and protects spell books. She is offering healing potions for 50 gold pieces each. You do see a signboard, like a little chalk signboard type thing, and in obviously magically written because it's too perfect to have been done by hand. You see that the signboard says special on healing potions. Buy 9, get 1 free, essentially. Many in stock is what the sign says. Another sign says rings of swimming. You wanted them, we've got them. Ask at counter. And the bitterness in your heart, I see that sign. like where were the fucking swimming before I went to water dungeon, bitch? But yeah, she sees you enter, and immediately seems to take note of your newly acquired magic items. You feel her appraising gaze upon them. If you didn't know any better, you'd almost say that she has some sort of boon or blessing that allows her to just detect magic all the time. It's weird.
And as we are back in Saltmarsh, Pietro would have returned the kerchief to all of us.
Oh, for sure.
So currently, I'm just rocking the scimitar at the moment.
All right.
I'm just saying, we also got some more money to collect.
That is true. Do you want to collect that money before this side quest thing?
Yeah,
we
I think
talking-
that'd be wise. I'm calculating everything right now.
Sure,
Let's get money before we start.
Let's
buying
max
stuff.
out before you go to the. All right. Fair enough.
Get all of the money.
Absolutely.
All right. This other money, is this what you had discussed with Prime Water? Essentially, who are you hoping to get some money from here? Oh no. This is for
Oakham.
dropping dude off with his daughter, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oakham, yeah.
We need to do that first. We absolutely need to do that first. I totally forgot
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
I'm so focused
that's
on
why.
it.
Yeah, that's definitely why I mentioned it. Yeah, you're the one who's like fucking save his ass.
All right. So Oakham is very excited to get away from you. He doesn't like you guys very much at all. If I'm being completely honest.
That's
So
okay.
yeah.
He doesn't have to like us. He just has to be, pay us.
Yeah. So when you arrive at his residence that he shares with his niece, Olivia. Here's Olivia. You arrive at the residence that he shares with Olivia. Olivia just begins sobbing openly, just shuddering sobs when she sees her uncle and the state that he's in. Because obviously he's in bad shape. He did not receive personal care from Captain Jenna to clean him up and get him going. So he's looking bedraggled, malnourished, PTSD'd out. He is just a mess. And she embraces him, and he just starts sobbing as well. And it's a very awkward but heartfelt moment where the two of them almost sort of collapse in the doorway of their home. Because she just never thought she'd see him again, and she's never seen him like this. He pulls away and he says, Olivia, I never thought I'd see you again. I thought the promise I made to your parents would have been broken. I hope that in my absence you've been all right. I was a fool to think that this old body could handle another expedition. I've come to realize that I need to leave these sorts of dangerous work to the next generation. And he looks over at you, Afra, and no shade. He gives you like a nod, and in that nod, you can feel sort of the passing of the torch, where he is stepping out of the game. He's stepping out of the game.
Yeah. Afra gives the.
All right.
What?
So Olivia looks at all of you, and she says, "Are you the ones that saved my uncle?
That we are, ma'am.
The others that were with him, are they all dead?"
Unfortunately, yes. He was
Uncle.
the only survivor.
He just holds her hand and gives it a squeeze, and she kind of snorts the snot bubble back into her nose, and she says, "Well, a deal is a deal. You've brought him back to me alive, and that's more than I had ever hoped to for. So, a moment while I gather the reward I had set aside." And she leaves for a moment and comes back with a leather pouch containing 50 platinum pieces.
Ooh, fancy.
So 500. And she hands it over to you and says, "This is all I could afford, but it is well worth his return to me. So thank you again."
Very well. Happy you two are back together.
All right. And so you now have an additional 500 gold.
Look at you guys go. Big money.
Big money, big money, big money.
And after returning Oakham to his family, after we've left, Pietro's going to approach Jenna and say, Captain, if there's the small matter of my compensation, I am hoping you will be able to advance me what I am owed. I would like to obtain better equipment to stand taller in a fight, as it were.
Yes, that's very well. As long as it's reasonable. You have
Alright.
proven very valuable.
Well, the cool thing about playing in Forgotten Realms is it is a high fantasy campaign. Not as high fantasy as Eberron or that one homebrew game that Snoop Dogg ran, but pretty fucking high. So you guys should be able to purchase most basic stuff. It's simply a matter of checking to see if the quartermasters of Joachim have it in stock. Anything that's not in stock, they can certainly try to brokerage, which is to say they could try and reach out and find it. And then that takes time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. So
Here's the thing, though. There are only 2 shows in town for magic items. There is the Quartermasters of Joachim, and there is the Wizard Kelledek. And the reason for this is that the Wizard Kelledek will straight up kill/make disappear rivals to his power in town. It's not publicly talked about, but it's something that the party is aware of by now. So anybody that sells spell components sells them not labeled as spell components, like bat guano tastes great in your brownies, that kind of thing. Like nobody is like, this is my magic item shop. Now, the Quartermasters of Joachim are new in town, and there is speculation that the Wizard Kelledek is going to move against them to get them removed from the town. Kelledek has been here for several hundred years. He is a very powerful archmage. His presence deters most attacks against the city proper, but he is definitely lazy boy wizard. Like, he does nothing to help the town. He does nothing to assist. Jenna, this is a common tactic of high-level mages to build a wizard tower in the middle of a crowded city, because you have lots of soft, squishy meat shields. And it also, essentially, if people attack you, they're also attacking the city. So the natural defenses of the city rise up to protect you. And then worst case scenario, if a fight does break out, there's lots of fresh corpses to raise as undead. So a lot of towns that are like, we're so blessed, we have a wizard tower. They have no idea like how bad it actually is. Yeah. So it's definitely a mutually beneficial relationship, but Kelledek definitely has a sort of territorial Heisenberg kind of thing going on. Like that Saltmarsh is his territory. He does not like wizrobes of any significant power to be there. And if they are, they better be minding their own business and not stepping on his toes, kind of thing. But the Quartermasters of Joachim is the goddess of commerce and trade. So to move against the Quartermasters of Joachim would essentially be to move against a religious faith. So that is probably why the town now has a magic item broker, because it is a religious outfit instead of a commercial outfit. So to kind of give you guys a sense of the politics behind magic item sales and whatnot in the city. If you guys tried to buy and sell magic items on your own, you tried to set up your own shop kind of thing, you would very much be dealing with probably another adventuring party hired by Kelledek to take y'all out, or make your life very unpleasant. So, dude is 100% a criminal.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
also know that he's affiliated with Prime Water.
Yeah, he and Prime Water are affiliated. Yes. So, because honestly, if you can't beat the nasty Archmage, you team up with him.
I see.
Yep. So that being said, now that you guys are flush with cash, I would highly recommend that you consider upgrading some of your equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know how much you need, and then we can talk and decide if we
Okay.
think it's worth it. First off, does anyone gonna use a +1 trident?
Are we talking about
Nah.
the trident off of the Baron?
Yep.
The Baron's trident.
I
Yeah.
think did Albus
Almost
want it?
Yeah, did he want that?
I don't think
It's
so.
it's hard to say
Okay.
what this guy wants out of life. So
Well, all I know is he picked it up at the end of last session.
It's an
So
enigma.
that's
Yeah, I think he picked it up because we knew it was magical, and he just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure we didn't leave it behind.
okay.
So we
I
could put a
don't
pin in
know.
that one. We could tentatively process it, but if his character was like, "No, my character believed it was the second coming of Jesus Christ or something," and
wait,
needed it for
so-
roleplay reasons, then we'll retcon it. But so are you planning to sell it? Is that the question?
Yeah, I was. I don't
Okay.
think anyone's gonna use it, and I didn't think
No.
particularly he was gonna use it either.
So I do have a couple of ideas in terms of what I want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
As do I.
I'd like to pick up a suit of splint mail,
Okay.
and because I lack the funds to get myself like a +1 longsword or anything like that, I might see if I can get my longsword coated in silver.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be 100 gold to silver the sword.
That's a cheap ass way to deal with magic resistance.
In like, if you want, we could do it the in character way, where like you could like do what you have with your little funds, but I don't think any of us would mind getting you stuff that would be more appropriate for your level.
It's up to you, really.
Because practicality sense, this party knows you tried to like leave gear that they had purchased for you, just hunt you down and kill you. And if you die in action, then they just take gear and give it to somebody else. There's a cold practicality at work for sure.
We will hunt you down and kill you.
You're dealing with someone who has already worked with.
Oh my god.
You could say far worse. Depends on what your take on the Zentarum is. I'm not too sure.
So, all right, just to kind of lay it out there, practicality wise, +1 armor is the cost of the armor plus an additional 3,500 gold.
Oh yeah, that's quite a bit. I'm just picking up standard splint mail because my AC is
for sure,
high anyways.
Yep.
I'm gonna have 20.
Magical
Mariner split mail?
Mariner split mail. She does have that still available. And that is 500 gold to the cost of the armor. Only light or medium versions available.
Yeah, my dex is like flat, so I'm just gonna go. I can get me some standard splint.
Yeah. But they do have a special on Ring of Swimming right now. 300 gold for a Ring of Swimming.
Ooh.
And it's so meta, but she makes sure to point out to you it does not require attunement. So that makes it a good item.
It's still on your walking speed, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, actually, no. I think our Ring of Swimming is pretty dope. Let me check. Yeah.
Does it have a weight limit?
Yeah,
Because
Ring of Swimming, static. You get a swim speed of 40 while you wear this ring. Boom.
Oh, static.
No attunement slot needed. Yep.
Oh, bet.
Can you Can you say that again? You just get a swimming
you get a
speed.
swimming speed of 40.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and no attunement necessary.
And they're 300 each.
Yep, 300 each.
Hey Jenna, what you paying out?
We'll buy 5.
All right.
Hold on. Before you commit to doing that, is it possible for Pietro to buy? What is it? Mariner half plate, because that's medium armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's anything. It would be the cost of the armor plus 500 GP more.
And
Oh,
Afra's
500
gonna
more?
say, like,
Yeah.
super confidently, I know what I'm doing. I don't think I need it.
Yeah, I like that doggy paddle you're into, Afra. Yeah, pretend to do her, like a mimic her in the water. Mimic her dogger paddle in the water.
I may have some new skills,
Hey,
is all I'm saying.
Instead of buying the splint mail, would you rather just have a breastplate?
What was breastplate? 14 plus your dex. I mean, nah, I'd still be better with a splint mail because it's I've got defense as my style, so and I got shield, so my AC just becomes 20.
Would
However,
anyone... Okay, go. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Would anyone like the bronze breastplate?
Oh, I sold that.
Yeah, they already got sold
You already got
to the lizard folk. Yeah.
However, if you are going to let me essentially loan out from the party funds, would it be possible to get just a +1 longsword?
Yeah, how much would that be?
No idea.
Yeah.
That's
Just a
okay.
sec. So a +1 weapon is the cost of the weapon plus 500 gold.
Yeah, longsword's like.
Yep. Tell me how much you need.
Yeah, just the longsword, and then I'll pay out of my own money for the splint mail because I got 310 gold. How much is a fucking longsword again?
Longsword's 15.
Yeah, so 515 gold there, and I've got my own splint mail now. Do those rings of swimming have a weight limit? I think I asked it. With the splint mail, I'm rocking like 250
Oh no!
pounds.
They just work. Bam! You get a swim speed. Now keep in mind, if you have a swim speed, you can use any kind of weapon you want underwater without penalties. Well, okay, any kind of melee weapon you want underwater without penalties. Ranged weapons still have their ranges reduced and automatically miss after a certain distance, and blah 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 blah.
Does it give me the ability to fire firearms underwater?
So it was
I don't think so.
515.
Yeah,
they are working on it, but open discussion about it would definitely be difficult, right? So, but you can certainly ask around about it, see if they've made any advancements to the smoke powder, because currently smoke powder, it gets fouled by water, which is one of the things sort of keeping the good old hand crossbow as the go-to sidearm for now.
So if we're all getting rings of swimming, is there really any mariner's armor?
No. Probably not.
Okay, because that's going to be the cheaper route.
Oh yeah.
So if Jenna's going to spring for a ring of swimming, Pietro will take that. I guess I'll just get regular half plate armor then, and Pietro would also like to inquire about a cloak of protection, if such a thing might be available.
Okay. So the potions, by the way, have the signature strawberry flavor of a Joachim Industries brand healing potion. So if you do have strawberry allergies, you probably should not use any of the potions that they sell.
I do need. How much will like a vat of the magical silver be?
A vat of magical silver? I mean, just to silver some weapon. Oh, you want to silver some ammo?
Yeah.
I think the rules for silvering ammo is like 20 pieces for 100 gold, if I'm recalling correctly. Yeah, it's a little pricey. I mean, it's not like it would completely destroy it. You could probably fish it back out of the corpses afterwards. Yeah. You just have to make sure that you have time to do that. So, Yeah.
Crash, would a cutlass be equivalent to like a scimitar or like a long short sword or long sword?
I believe
we're talking
Cutlass
about
has its own handout
Oh.
under
Okay.
equipment. Yeah, under player folder, equipment folder, there should be a handout for Cutlass.
Okay, I see. Thanks.
All right, and I'm looking up the price right now on the Cloak of Protection. So hold on just a sec.
Time to max out.
Yeah,
my
because
AC.
it's pretty vague on that.
Oh no, prices are totally the discretion of the GM. So for magic items, like they,
Yeah, I sort of figured. So hence vague.
yeah, fourth edition was super board game video gamey. So like in the description of every magic item, they actually listed like how much gold it was to have it. Because the whole system was built around having magical equipment and stuff. Whereas for the most part, magic items are kind of per campaign, how people feel about them, sort of thing. In 5e.
Actually,
Sure.
Crash, I can't find where it says the price of cutlasses.
Yeah, so Cloak of Protection, yeah, she has one in stock. It is going to be 3,000 gold though.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it's a +1 to your armor class and all your saving throws.
Okay, that is not what I saw. Okay, I thought it was gonna be like between like 500 max, so 3,000. Okay,
Gas price is a little high.
I think I get the message there.
Oh no, there's I use 2 different documents for my magic item prices. And I basically base it on the usefulness of the item versus like how like common it would be or easy to make in the region. And essentially Sword Coast is just crawling with adventurers, so something that adventurers would really want to use. There's definitely a price increase to that kind of stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I'm guessing a ring of protection would run similarly, if not more.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, in that case,
And then there are items that are considered collectibles. They're basically items that people really, really like, that have sort of old school charm. So, like ion stones, for example, are not a very good magic item by modern standards, but they sell for like a shitload of money, because they're considered like, a showpiece magic item, basically. Yeah, so you'll occasionally wander into some weird pricing for the more exotic items like that. But yeah, Cloak of Protection and Ring of Protection both run 3,000.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Yep.
Got to work up to that. So I will definitely take the half plate armor. I'll take the Ring of Swimming since Jenna's springing for that, and since there is some question as to, well, maybe not question, but since we want to make sure we're all properly kitted out, and since I told Gruda like I want my rapiers back if at all possible, Pietro will pay for the silvering of said rapiers.
Okay. The magic trident, if you sell it, she is willing to give you 300 gold for it, actually, because it's kind of exotic in so much as it is Sahaugan make. So if you're willing to part for it, she will give you 300 gold for it.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I don't particularly think Elvis wants it.
Yeah, and you just distract him with like some shiny stuff in some other direction, he'll be fine.
If you don't bring it up, I don't think he'll remember. But...
Yeah.
Nice. So,
if he like next year when we play again, if he's like, and I pull out the Baron's trident, I'll just delete the 300 gold from the gift.
All
you're
right, so
lighting.
I will pay out 950 gold for the armor and for the silvering of those rapiers. So, Garuda, those rapiers are now silvered.
Neat.
Figure out my armor in a second.
Afra, do you go to the store with the trident?
I probably would, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She asks you, point blank, are you willing to part? Sorry. Are you willing to part with that weapon?
No. And I kind of have a deal.
I have a deal for you then. 10,000 gold.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh.
If only you had dropped that coin.
No. No, I don't think you can give me enough stuff to make up for, I don't think 10,000 gold will buy me enough stuff for
All
all
right.
this gives me.
She narrows the liquid golden orbs that are her eyes, scrutinizing you, and she gives you a nod, and she says, "Then I will give you this free advice. Be very careful. That weapon calls out to any it feels are worthy to challenge you."
I squint at that.
I'm always careful.
Afra, that's like the third person to say that today.
I'm always careful.
How tall is Afra, and like, what's her build?
Pretty short and slight.
And how big is this fucking trident?
Taller than me.
It's like 6 feet. Yeah, it's like 6 feet tall.
It's a good foot taller than I am.
That trident is taller than I am. How are you wielding that? Without just falling over, if you don't mind me asking.
I have a pact, you might say,
A pact? With
Of-
what?
of the blade.
Oh, I should also ask,
Oh.
during all this time that passed, did you attune to it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me give you the card for it then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
That might
to
change
my
some of your
new what you
decisions
call it.
about what you do.
I got something I
And
really want.
Crash, I'm gonna sell my. Assuming nobody else wants my my chainmail, I'm gonna sell that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are we gonna be buying any more health potions?
Afra, can you jump into the secret meeting real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so metagaming. We are level 6. Crash is giving out some fucking magic items. I feel like we all need to have like some magic shit now for next
Yeah.
fight. If not, we're gonna be pretty
Well,
boned.
bear in mind, I silvered those rapiers for you,
Yeah.
so melee wise, you're gonna be in a good shape because those will deal full damage now.
And I got a +1 longsword now.
And my scimitar, and then the rapier that I'm going to be borrowing from all of us in the field, that is, those are both magical. So those will deal full damage.
So I will be taking the frontline role again because I guess I'm suicidal like that. However, I've kind of gone an alternative route where I'm kind of stacking AC. So I can, at max, I can hit 22.
Yeah.
And I've also got heavy armor mastery.
Okay.
Just to offset a bit of the other stuff.
I'm gonna. Oh, Crash is here. Goddamn. I'm gonna buy Levada silver just so I can make sure I got silver bullets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I need that.
Yeah, because we fought a ghost.
Well, you're going to have to figure out how much, but I mean, realistically, shooting cannon, you're just shooting balls, so you could theoretically retrieve them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could, but I imagine like marbles. You ever tried to find a lost marble?
Fair enough, but I'm talking about like in the body. I mean, like, it's basically find the hole, then start digging.
Yeah.
But no, I feel you. I understand.
It's like, are you gonna pay us, or are you just gonna handle everything from it?
I'm doing the math, man.
Just.
Oh, I'm
just-
sorry.
it's all
So much.
all
I'm
good.
selling so much stuff right now. That
Are
we
you-
have, like,
All right.
Give me 2.
yeah, pretty much. Look, we're probably gonna have estimated around 6,000 gold total
Wait, really?
for buying shit.
Jesus Christ, nice.
Holy shit!
And that's after the longsword.
Hmm.
All right. But seriously, are we gonna get some more health potions? I mean, I'm good with a couple. I was gonna buy one.
We have 10 health potions in the
Yeah.
party inventory.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, I mean, between all of us, or just like what
No,
is
that's just
collectively available?
that's just in the party inventory, not touched in anyone else's inventory.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have, so I think you have 2 potions on you.
Yeah, I
that you
picked up
took
2
from
potions,
the-
but
yes, Haugen.
didn't you
So
give me a couple potions at some point during our underwater escapades?
I mean, if I gave it to you, I took it off the inventory.
Okay, never mind.
So
Never mind.
I hope you put it on your.
Oh yeah, I did. I used them. No, I
Yeah,
used them,
sure.
but I'm keeping those 2 Sahaugen ones.
6
So
gold.
I'm going to assume. Wait, everyone's getting a ring of swimming, right?
Yeah,
Well,
except Avra.
everyone. So yeah, let's ask who needs that. So
Pietro does.
Pietro needs one.
I have a high
Gr-
athletics, but I don't have swim speed.
If you don't have a swim speed, you're getting one.
Yeah, because also 250 odd pounds. Like, imagine trying to swim normally with that, even with high athletics. Down I go. Awesome. Anyways, thank you.
So I think that's 6.
Owls can swim anyways, right?
Yeah. I want to buy an extra ring just to have for like,
Just in
if
case.
we take like an NPC or someone with
yeah,
us.
that's a good idea.
That's a
actually.
good call.
Always thinking about the future. This is why you're the captain.
Preparing.
Yeah, I really wish I wasn't the treasurer. 'Cause not my skill set
It is
at all.
stressful. Trust me, I know. I do it in one of my games, and I'm not even the fucking quartermaster in that game.
Like 6 belt pouches. Like, I'm gonna just leave this shit on the ground next time.
Well,
7 3 dragon anti sets. We don't need.
Mm.
Well, actually, maybe we can disperse these amongst the crew. That's what we're gonna do.
Might be a good idea. They return.
Jenna provides.
wild magic potion, huh?
That sounds like a fun idea.
Wait. 7 dragon anti set. 1 dragon set. 1 dragon.
Well, if we've got an extra 10 health potions in reserve, then I'm just gonna sit tight with the 2 that I found.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy more too. It's one of those things for like,
we need them.
Never have too much of them.
Potions of healing
Are your tide pods of healing? Do you kind of take them out in the store or no?
Oh fuck.
Sure. I guess.
Oh yeah. Upon seeing the tide pods of healing, she is very interested in those.
Challenge.
So she asks if she can look at one of them.
Okay, I would like it back though. I got these off, and I kind of need them for the future.
She looks at them, and they're in bad shape. They're already drying out. The membrane is sort of tightening up. Yeah. They have to be kept wet, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She eyes you and says, I will give you 150 gold for these 2.
That's like 3 potions.
Okay. Pietro will be like, that sounds like a very favorable deal. I will give you these 2 healing potions.
It is done. I will make you bill of sale. Oh yeah, everything you buy from here comes with a bill of sale that comes with a legally binding like contract that you have purchased it, that they're not using Nistul's aura or false value or any of those other like criminal spells to modify the weapon. There's like contracts that you sign, and if they buy anything from you, it's the same deal. That if they have basically I think it's a 10-day to prove if they can prove within a 10-day that you have basically shystered them with like a false item or something like that, they are well within the legal limits to pursue justice against you. Blah 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 blah. And this is an entire religion built on commerce. So like they don't fuck around. Yeah. So every single purchase comes with essentially a writ of sale that has the seal of Joachim upon it. So,
and what I'll do is I'll use that 150 gold, and I will then buy 3 regular healing potions.
okay.
Yeah.
She sort of casually taps the signboard that says "Buy 9 get 1 free" as you're buying 3 potions.
No, you misunderstand. This is for my own personal reserve. I'm sure we'll be doing additional commerce, and I also take out my that wild magic potion. Say, I've had this for some time. Is there any interest in this item?
Yeah, she takes it from you. She asks if she can have 10 minutes to identify it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then she looks back at you and says, "This is dangerous item, but perhaps of great interest to those in the field of magical studies. I would be willing to give you 400 gold for it."
I and Pietro will be like, sold. I will take the 400 gold. Thank you much.
All right.
Rita will walk up to her and hey, so I am what people call a adventurer, and I go out into a world. Recently, I've seen people have like these bangy things that they fire and a ball comes out and it hurts a lot. I don't personally use them, but I've seen it. I was wondering, does your ring of swimming allows it to be used underwater?
I see. Do you want to know if Ring of Swimming allows normal use of firearms underwater?
Oh, is that what they're called? They're called firearms. Wow, you are so.
It is important to keep track of the things that are illegal in the lands that you do business in, lest you accidentally find yourself in possession of such items.
Yeah, that would be really, really bad
It would it not?
if you got caught with them. Which I
But
won't.
if you were such a person who was interested in such an item, it would be quite beneficial to come across one that is enchanted. And she gives you like a look.
Let's say, I was maybe. Do you have any enchanted firearms?
All subtly gone.
Yeah, you see a lot of people like kind of stop their shopping for a second and like kind of enter eavesdrop mode, and she lets loose a long like belly laugh and kind of slaps the counter, and she says, "Of course not, but I would imagine if such an enchanted firearm had made its way this far north, it would be quite valuable.
Yeah.
Perhaps over 1,000 gold or more for such a fine weapon."
Yeah. I imagine so.
Fortunately for us, we do not need to worry about such things.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, because I don't use firearms though. Yeah, I'll just take 2 vats
but
of your
your
silver.
interest in such frivolities has been noted, and she kind of gives you a smile.
And thank you for noting that. Please don't
Okay.
tell anybody. And I soak back and
She says, "There is nothing to tell, for I have heard nothing."
Speaking of
and I nudged after. Yeah, look at that.
I'll step up and talk to this. What's her name?
Oh, the lady that runs the shop?
Yeah.
I
Faithful
can never. I think it's
quartermaster, Zendros.
yes. Thank you,
Zendros?
Zandros. Yep.
Yeah, I found the handout. Hello there. Um, whilst I'm not here to buy, I'm actually wondering if you're interested in procuring anything in particular.
Her eyes kind of sparkle at that one. Yeah. And she says, yes, there is a great need in Waterdeep for cloaks of displacement. If you can find one, I would be willing to pay a small fortune for it. 20,000 gold.
I'll make sure.
Like, you hear somebody drop something when she says that,
Yeah.
and it shatters, and she says, "You will be paying for that."
From one very money-interested person to another, I like this.
Now, other things that we are always on the lookout for is magic shields. This is a time in Sword Coast where shields have made big comeback, yeah? Shield very popular item, so any sort of magic shields I will pay more for if you can find them. Bag of holding, always move well. If you find a haversack, Hevard's haversack, this is a collectible item right now. It's premium prices.
Oh, okay. So let's see: cloak of displacement, magical shields, bag of holdings, and/or handy haversacks. Is there anything else?
Currently, I have outstanding brokerage order. We are looking for a rod of the Pact Keeper. It is, by all accounts, greatest weapon for 5th edition Warlock.
Indeed.
Many Warlocks these days, as people lose faith in the gods.
That is a shame. All right then. I'll make sure to keep an eye out for those things. Oh, this high fucking perception's gonna come in useful. I see.
Willow, is your business done?
Yes.
Pietro would like to go back and say, is it at all possible to buy the difference in healing potions to get the deal? Now that we have reached an agreement on that wild magic potion.
You wish to immediately take money and give back to me for potions?
Yes. So one can never have too many healing potions. We are the vendors.
That's correct. She kind of like eyes you, hungrily, ? And she says, but from what I understand, half work lasts a very long time.
When you say last, what are you implying?
That's not
That
true.
you
Pietro's
have
goes down
a-
all the time.
You have and when you say he goes down all the time, she blushes. It's hard to tell because she has that bright red devil skin, but there's sort of a purplish hue that kind of reaches her cheeks. She says, I understand that you, as a species, are harder to kill, is all I'm implying.
Generally speaking, but I have had a run of bad luck, and I believe in being prepared.
Have you heard of Potion Bandolier?
Could I obtain one?
Yes. We just
Along
got-
with the potions of healing.
We just got shipment in from Waterdeep. Rugged leather, holds 10 potions, comes with reinforced iron flasks with glass steel lining, transfer potions to special reinforced bottles in bandolier. When you fall down, ally have no problem finding potion, baby bottle feed you. Is 15 gold. Also, latest fashion trend out of Waterdeep.
I will take those plus the addition potions. So I believe I owe you another 300.
Okay.
315.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, anybody that is interested, potion bandoliers were an item in 4th edition that actually had gameplay mechanics. Because the game was so combat centric that there were like complex rules for getting out potions and administering potions and stuff like that. So if you didn't have a potion bandolier, you kind of got hosed. Yeah, like so nowadays they don't really do anything, but they do look dope as hell. And they also sort of write away any sort of logic gaps you might have about how come my glass bottles of potions don't get shattered every time I get eaten by a behir or smashed by a falling boulder trap. I don't understand. How do my allies find my potion and administer it to me in only 6 seconds? So you don't have to buy one, but if you are interested, it is the latest fashion trend for adventurers out of Waterdeep.
I feel like that will match my fanny pack perfectly.
Yeah. I'm gonna,
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Media
right,
one
so
is
I now have
well.
10 fucking healing potions and a potion. Come on, RNGesus, let's do this.
All right, RNGesus hears you.
You need 3 levels of Thief Rogue, so you can bonus action chug a potion every turn. Dude.
No, we're going barbarian. We're doing a fighter barbarian.
So let me throw that out there for the Warcraft one shot. In the spirit of Warcraft, I said that they could take potions as a bonus action, but administering them was still an action. And damn, if they did not basically just have beer hats on the entire adventure. Every turn, it was like, "Yo, shotgun another potion. Oh, shotgun." Because that also has mana potions. Because you don't use spell slots, you use mana points. So like, they must have been just pissing every time there was a chance. They must have just snuck off to the corner and took a piss. Because they were just shotgunning potions like left and right. It was crazy.
You should have been cruel, and you should have been like, yeah, you can use it as a bonus action, but only every 20 rounds, because potions in WoW have a 2-minute cooldown.
Oh
and they
god,
share a cooldown.
Yeah. No, it was a rough enough adventure already. So yeah. They were level 3 people hanging out with lava, so yeah, it was kind of edge of your seatness. Okay, so sounds like you guys have got some good shopping done.
I haven't gotten to go yet.
Okay. Jenna, what are you after here?
She's gonna buy 6 of the rings.
Oh, 6 of the rings. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then she's gonna She's gonna ask what she would pay for a chisel that doesn't wear out ever. It's magical.
They do not have such a thing in stock.
I have one to sell.
Oh, yeah, they would definitely be interested in that. She was gonna say she could have one made and sell it to you for 100 gold. So she'll give you 50 gold for it if you.
She's got it.
All right.
And I was also gonna ask her if what kind of like wands, if she had any wands available.
She does. Wands are pricey, for sure. The wands that she currently has available is everybody's favorite wand of magic missiles. Yeah. She says, yes, why would one need firearm when there is already such great magics as this? In reference to the wand of magic missiles. Let's see. She also has a wand of magic detection. She has a wand of pyrotechnics. And she has a wand of polymorph.
How much for the wand of polymorph? Out of curiosity.
All right. Hold on. My window is like freaking out. I have 4 monitors now, but I'm set up and like the most like ghetto ass setup ever. So I'm like trying to access my other windows and they're freaking out. Let's see.
Where's your graphics card?
It's I should know the name and stuff, but I don't know the name off the top of my head. All right, so she looks you straight in the face. She doesn't stutter. She just looks you right in the face. She says, "The wand of polymorph is 32,000 gold." You hear somebody else drop something.
It's more than my sentient weapon.
I mean, she offered you 10,000 for the sentient weapon. She didn't tell you how much the sentient weapon was worth. She
You're
just
right.
offered.
I mean,
yeah.
Wand of polymorph, you can turn things into lots of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I
But she
didn't
says,
expect to be
if
able
you
to
have
afford it.
particular wand you're looking for, I have many contacts. I can reach out and find these things for you.
Yes. Well, how much for the wand of magic missiles? Because I think that would be useful.
Yes, wand of magic missile, 3,000 gold.
Does that work?
Jetta looks at her crew, see if they have judgy eyes.
No.
No, I'm looking it up right now.
I was gonna. Are we getting like party potions?
Yeah.
We already have 10. I was gonna, get 10 more, but we already have 10 in the party inventory.
Okay.
Might not have to worry about potions for too much longer, as I might have scribing spell scrolls and just making a bunch of cure wound scrolls.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
Well, with
regardless,
scrolls
Pietro
in
doesn't have a
in
good track
5e, remember with scrolls in
Oh
5e,
yeah.
you have to have the ability or access to the spell to cast the spell off a scroll.
That's fine.
Yeah, so as long as it's somewhere, if this is where multi-class characters kind of love scrolls, as long as it's on one of your potential spell lists, you can cast the scroll off the spell. The only exception there is scrolls of protection, which can be used by anybody.
It was more along the lines of like it saves me having to burn.
Oh no, but it's fantastic because a lot of people say like, well, why, if you multi-class one level of cleric, you're never going to be able to cast Revivify or Raise Dead or any of that, but you will if you buy the scrolls because you'll be able to cast them off the scrolls.
Oh, be able to
No
cast
one
Revivify
has
at some point.
Vivify, right?
No.
I need like how many more levels for that? I'm only like a level 2 cleric at the moment.
But you could if you bought scrolls of Revivify.
Yeah. So Jenna's gonna buy the wand of magic missiles,
Okay.
and let me do math here real quick.
I will mark it off for inventory. She only had the one.
That's 3 minus 18.
Revivify is a 3rd level spell,
Okay,
so yeah, I
okay.
need to be level 5 to use Revivify.
Yeah. How much would a scroll of Revivify be? Jenna asks the fine lady.
So a scroll of Revivify have a 300 gold and diamond dust. In the ink is very beautiful. Some people buy to hang on wall. So we sell for 500 gold because life is important and adventurers drive the commerce of the world. So it is a small gift from Joaquin. So her small gift still involves turning a huge profit, but there you have it.
Yeah, I think we'll take the. I think we have enough potions. I think the scroll is more valuable than the potions at this point. We could pick someone back up. The two people. Alfred, are you gonna still be a celestial cleric? I know you're doing some weird shit with that trident.
No, I'm not gonna be.
So you're not gonna be able to cast Revivify. So the only one that
No.
can cast it
Me.
is our frontliner that is most likely gonna be the target of the Revivify.
That's why I've made myself as tanky as possible.
All right. So something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. Nothing that was said was a lie, but it is important to note that if the spell is on your class's list, but is a higher level than you can normally cast, you do have to make an ability check with your spellcasting ability to determine whether or not you can cast it successfully. The
Interesting.
DC is 10 plus the spell's level. On a failed check,
13.
the scroll disappears with no effect. So you haven't given her the 500 gold yet. So just keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
I think it's still
I'll
better.
post the link to that information up real quick. In your treasure, would that be good? Or yeah, that's probably a good spot for it.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So, everyone that isn't Alvis, add the ring of swimming onto your character sheet.
Yep.
Sweet. Thank you.
It's gonna be one in the party inventory for in case we get an NPC or someone that needs it.
They do get it.
And as there was interest in the healing tide pods of Sahaugen origin, I totally forgot because it wasn't on the main sheet. Pietro will produce the prayer wheel and then the thin tube of iron filings as well to the sales lady and say, "Is this of any interest? You were interested in the Haugen artifacts before. We have come across these."
Okay. And what are you showing her?
It is the flat disc, the prayer wheel, the Sahaugen prayer wheel, and then the tube of iron filings. We just determined that it wasn't, it wasn't magical, but it may have some value. Who knows?
So yeah, she's gonna take a look at it, and she says, "None of these, neither of these items is magic, but they are interesting. I myself have no need of them. I used to be very bad hoarder, but a bard from Kuratur, she told me to find joy in having fewer things, and so I had to ask myself with each of my items, did this bring me joy, until I had a more reasonable amount. While both of these are of interest to me, I will have to pass today."
Is there anyone who might be a collector of such oddities? You could perhaps point me in the right direction.
Certainly. You can hit up Marketplace. I would say each of those, assuming you spent some time, you could probably gain 10 to 20 golds for each of them.
Okay, thank you for your assessment.
All right. And that's pretty simple. You can just pretty much just roll me. Let me see on the math here. Yeah, just roll a d10 and add 10 to it. So a d10 plus 10, and then we'll assume that you sold each one for that amount.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got max value.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right, I will sell those things.
Okay. All right. Any other stuff as you guys kind of kid out? One of the more satisfying moments in D&D is when you have been getting your ass kicked for weeks, and you get to grab some loots and level up at the same time. Just a very nice situation that you're in. A strong way to end the year.
One thing everyone is gonna notice is like Jenna's tasking like crew members like Toothpick Tate and like other crew members to like just offload tons of shit that like she's just dumping out of like bags I'm holding and other backpacks and stuff. Like we're selling several spears, cutlasses, like.
Oh
they're
yeah,
basically
liquidation.
selling-
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I completely just sold almost everything on our party inventory. So like we were offloading everything, coral spears and all tons of stuff into this town.
All right. Sounds good to me. I guess, is there anyone else that has anything super pressing that we need to discuss? Because I wanted to give you guys an update of what the current available quests, to be a little meta,
Yeah.
are, so that you had 2 weeks to sort of discuss it and figure out what you'd like to do next. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are rumors of cultists operating inside Saltmarsh now. So these aren't the normal like priests and priestesses of the Bitch Queen Umberly causing problems. These are servants of a southern cult out of Kalasham, the Scarlet Brotherhood. So Ida Owlin, who you guys have met before, she is trying to get people to investigate cultists in the city and basically get rid of them. So that's one of the things that is being done. The dwarves are having a situation with their mines. The mines are haunted. So over at the mining company, which has the name, I don't know why the handout doesn't. I'll have to update that. But over at the mining company, this lady right here, who is the boss of the dwarves, essentially of Saltmarsh, Menestred Copperlocks, she is looking to pay some money. I believe she is looking to pay 2,000 gold to have to hire some Ghostbusters for her mine. So
Sounds good.
more details to follow, sort of thing. Owlland, I'll be honest, was only offering like 1,200 gold to check out the cultists, and only if you could actually eliminate them from town. Basically, the Owlland job is a community outreach kind of thing. Like if you helped Owlland, the real reward would be feeling good that you helped Grandma deal with some bad cultists. 1,200 is the most she'd be able to pay out on that one, and only then if you were able to rout out the clerics. So kind of a low cost job. And then finally, the third job that is available is some dude named Gellin Primewater.
Some random dude.
Yeah, he contacts you directly and tells you 2 years ago, a ship sailing back from Maztica, it got lost at sea. The escort fleet that was with it spent weeks trying to find it and never did. I have reports that the ship has been found, floating derelict and adrift. Very spooky shit. There are two items that are on that ship, and I want them. If you go and get those items for me, I will give you 10,000 gold.
Big bucks.
I think we know which one we're doing.
Yeah, like, is that hard?
You guys have 2 weeks to decide. Big money, please.
Well, high rewards can mean high risk, but that'll give us a chance to test things out.
All right. So if you want to do some homework on derelict ships, there's an old-timey movie called Event Horizon. It's about a spaceship that disappeared for a few years and then reappeared, and the happy times that followed.
Oh God.
So this kind of reeks of that. The ship disappeared under mysterious circumstances. It has reappeared 2 years later. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. So I guess on that note, I guess happy new year, or happy holidays, or whatever, because we made it. It's the end of 2019. Next year is the future. So
Here we
Good
are
luck
in
with
the
your cybernetic
future.
implants and raising your own clone or whatever you're going to get up to in 2020.
As soon as you said cybernetic implants, the "We Are the Borg" speech started going.
Yeah.
Chris, so I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's say we take a job in town, you know, and there's like these other like side quests and stuff, and our crew is just kind of like sitting around, you know, doing nothing. Like, are we able to like, kind of like skills more, like send them to go like try and take care of something on their own?
Eventually, yes. Once you guys essentially are high enough in level, aka 9, to unlock like the followers
Okay.
system. For now, these people were hired to do a particular job, and that's the job they're gonna do.
Okay.
They have the people that you've hired and the NPCs that follow you are very much like, you guys are cool, but you are the boss of me in respect to these particular tasks and motivations. Once you guys are high enough level that scrubs start to follow you and you are essentially their patron, you could start asking them to do more dangerous and crazy stuff. How that kind of pans out is, for example, if you were level 9, you can turn to like 6 of your followers and be like, go clear out those mines. And the followers would be like, right away. And then maybe some of them would come back, and if they did, you would get the reward essentially for completing the quest. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Did Prime Water specify what those 2 items were, or just he's like, bring me back these? Just
I'm leaving it
Bring me
a little vague until
Okay.
you kind of agree to the job, sort of
fair
thing.
enough.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
But
Leave
it's
us some
essentially,
suspense.
yeah, he doesn't want the ship. He wants 2 items from the ship, and apparently these 2 items are worth 10,000 gold to him.
Which
Okay.
sounds good to me.
You guys, I got homework. I need to watch this
Also-
movie to see what it's about.
Yeah,
Uh,
Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Hoo boy.
Pretty good.
Also, there's some like spells I was interested in picking up in town.
Okay.
Can I just like, do you want me to just like list them now, or do you want me to like DM you them?
Yeah, I mean, you could throw them up in the treasure chat or DM me, whichever. Generally, spells they run on a pretty standard pricing based on the level of the spell. So, any of like the Acquisitions Incorporated spells cost probably twice as much because markup for licensing and whatnot. I wish I was joking, but that's literally how Acquisition Incorporated spells work. Is you have to pay licensing fees for them. I think a couple of them actually have like money to cast them, and then when you cast the spell, the money goes into the vault of Acquisitions Incorporated.
God damn it.
Yeah. So.
So
So, any other questions before we adjourn?
yeah, so between now and the next session, is there any level of like downtime between those things? So I want to see if we can get those scrolls sorted out between sessions.
Yeah. So, obviously, if they found this this derelict ship, he wants, and you want to do the quest. He wants to do it ASAP. But he doesn't want you guys to go unprepared. There is rain coming, but no storms on the immediate horizon. So the weather's pretty good for heading out. But if you agree to do this, I think the longest he'd be willing to delay would be 5 days. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, I could always do it on the way as well, because essentially I can make
Correct. Yeah.
I can make 1 scroll a day, and I think is that 25 gold per level 1 spell.
And
I've got 100 gold, so I can make 4.
Yeah.
So I can make 4 level 1 cure wound scrolls, which would go a long way. I mean, not just having to burn through all my fucking level 1s healing people.
Totally.
I'll probably just deduct my funds now then.
Okay. And the journey itself will take, I believe it's 4 or 5 days by sea.
Okay.
Yeah. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. But the sooner you could head out, the better is how he feels about it. But he doesn't want you to rush off half-cocked and underprepared.
Okay,
So.
that's fine. All right, sure. Sounds
All right.
good to me then.
Cool. Any other questions?
No.
No, I posted the spells and treasure.
Okay, cool.
What
All
spells are,
right.
I'm curious. Is it good?
And in that case, we will end here, and we will pick up next time, which will be next year, with you guys getting into your ship and I guess sailing after this derelict vessel. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
okay. Cool. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your year. I don't really have any other announcements. There's no there's no one shots or anything going on. There are one shots in January. If you were interested in being a monster and kidnapping a princess, there's still plenty of room in that game. And I think there's like a wait list for Hero Quest, so I don't know if there's any room in Hero Quest right now, but there's another Hero Quest game going on. And yeah, I don't know. If you're curious about Red Handed Doom and want the whole thing spoiled for you, I spent like a bunch of time basically covering the entire thing from start to finish yesterday, and I posted that up. And it also talks about some of the pitfalls of DMing that particular campaign and some of the things I would have done differently. And I don't know, if you're curious about my methods for DMing and that sort of thing, it might be worth a listen. I don't know. I'm going to eventually record the second half of it, which was Skills of War, which talks about like the difficulties of higher level DMing and the kind of stuff that we kind of ran into with that as well. But for the most part, yeah, that's all I got. So I hope you guys, again, have a good end of the year, and I'll see you around the thing. And if you have any level up questions, post them up into either the build channel or the big build channel, and I'm sure me or somebody else will have answers for you. So.
Sounds good.
All right. On that note, I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday, and I'll catch you later.
Laters.
Yep.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.